Well, we're going to get started in just a little bit, and good morning to all you early risers. It's really not that early, but we had a little bit of a challenge this morning as I was trying to get my internet to get up and running. The signal kept dropping off, so I hope we don't have any issues during this live stream today, because I've got a real special machine that I want to present to you. And this particular machine came in for service, and then because of the number of machines that the customer had, this is Tom Olson from the great state of Illinois, who works as an attorney. Don't dislike him because he's an attorney. He's a very, very nice man and a very good attorney too. But you might remember a little reel I posted on Facebook where he had his car packed out with machines, close to 20 machines that he was thinking about bringing to the workshop for service. And I had to turn some of them away because I'm so backlogged right now with, and it's only me, that I kind of cherry picked the machines that he was most interested in getting operational, and a couple of machines that he was interested in parting ways with, not because he didn't love them, but just because he had so many machines. And one of those machines that he elected to part with, that I just finished up incredibly intense on last night, probably close to 11 p.m. Central Time, is this seldom seen Swedish beauty. It's a CL8, which I said in the title of this live stream is a step up from the Featherweight. And I'll go into more detail as to why I say that. Not to offend any Featherweight owners, certainly not to turn anybody away from the possibility of adding a Featherweight to their personal collection. But when I describe some of the benefits that this machine can offer that the Featherweight can't, I think you'll see my point. And this might end up going on your list as a machine that you want to acquire. And again, act quickly, because this machine is being offered for sale. There's only one. And in the 23 years that I've been doing this sort of work with restorative work with machines, I've only had two of these in the workshop, CL8s. One of them, you might remember, belonged to Juliet from Texas. And it was a cherished family machine that her mom sewed on. And some of you might remember the story. Her mother's house caught on fire, and that CL8 was lost in the fire. And so Juliet and I, as a special surprise to her mom, who had inspired her to fall in love with sewing, we went on a quest to find a CL8. It took over 6 months to find a CL8. And then the machine I got in was missing some vital parts that were specific to this rotary style machine. And so then I had to go on the hunt for another couple of months to find another CL8 so that we could finally get one finished machine done for Juliet down in Texas. And then she could surprise her mom with it. You know, basically the phoenix coming out of the ashes. And I got a note from her mom. I got a note from family members. They had a parade for me down in Texas because of what I did for that family. It wasn't really a parade. It was a family gathering. But you know what? To me, it was a parade. It was a parade. And it's great to make dreams come true, isn't it? It's great to be able to take something that's lost and there's a little pit in your stomach. There's an emptiness. There's a gap because that machine was lost in the fire. And then all of a sudden, for daughter to be able to sit down to a mirror image of that machine that was lost forever, and to be able to sit down and celebrate sewing again together as mother and daughter down in the great state of Texas. That's probably one of the favorite stories that, sometime in the future, as I step away from this and I hang up my sewing restorative shingle, which I know a lot of people take issue with, that, Scott can't retire. It's never going to happen. It will happen eventually. And that's going to be one of the favorite stories that I step away with, as the impact that I brought to that family down in Texas. But I can now bring that impact to you through this CL8 Rotary from 1963. And when I show you in a little bit, after I get the sewing machine sew-off materials prepared, when I show you some of the providential materials that are going with this machine, you're going to literally, I've got to come into the shot. You're going to literally drool. You're going to be like, no way. No way Tom Olson is giving us this stuff with his CL8. Yeah, it's going to go with the machine. And when you see what I've got, you're going to be like, wow, wow. Seriously, you're going to freak out. It's going to be amazing. The providential material that's going to go with this 1963 CL8. So I'm going to put on a little bit more music. I'm a little bit behind because of the internet issues this morning, which I hope don't cause us any issues. So I'm going to put on a little bit more dance music, get acquainted with each other, make some new friendships, swap some stories. And again, just to clarify our classroom culture, which I'll ring the bell again to signify class has started. When we're in a live stream, I certainly want you as students and as fellow teachers, I want you to be engaged in what we're doing with a machine, but that doesn't mean that you can't pass notes in class. That doesn't mean that you can't have some fun with some quick little sidebar discussions about something that you're doing in your sewing space, or a new machine you acquired, or maybe a question about an unrelated machine that might benefit those sewists that might have that machine in their collection as well. We don't have a lot of rules other than to keep it family friendly, and be kind to each other and make new friendships. So have fun. That's the first rule. If there is a rule in our classroom, have fun, make new friendships, and don't be afraid to step out of the shadows and engage people in some dialogue, and then come back and focus on the machine after that. But that's perfectly okay. We don't have a lot of rules. Relax. And right now, instead of relaxing, get up and stretch your legs, because we might be here for a little bit. Get up and stretch your legs and do a little bit of dancing. I do dancing in the workshop all the time. I do. I'm confessing that to you. I do dancing in the workshop all the time. When I'm listening to music during the day, I'll get stretch my legs, and I do a little boogie woogie, and that's my thing. So boogie woogie with me right now as I get the rest of the sew-offs prepared. We're not going to have a huge number of sew-offs for this CL8, and when I tell you about the setup, you'll understand why. All right, here we go. Get up and stretch your legs. Just about ready. Just about ready. Okay, that was my last thing to cut off. And I want to ask for your help this morning, if you would. Um, I don't know if I didn't look at the live chat yet to see if Jenny, our ambassador, is here or not. Um, but I'd like to ask for your help in researching real quick for me. And it ties into our setup, which is a little bit unique. The setup is we're going to be using 100% silk thread today. I haven't pulled out the silk thread for a while. And this is made by Gutermann. Yeah, by Gutermann. And it's 100% 100% silk thread. So with silk thread, the research I did tells me that the recommended needle to use when you're sewing with silk thread generally is going to be a microtex needle. And I had a variety of sizes that I could have picked from size 60 to 70 and a size 80. I ended up going with a size 80 microtex needle. But beyond the sew offs that I prepared, if someone wants to do some research and if there's other materials that I have that I can sew with this setup, and again, this is the needle type that we're going to be using right here. So Microtex, as I look at I should mention the needles and this book came from Susie out of Minnesota. Susie out of Minnesota last Christmas sent me all kinds of goodies, and it included these Microtex needles and also this pocket guide put out by Schmetz. And when you go to the specific needle of Microtex, I didn't realize this. The Microtex needle, I've got this pack that Susie sent me that has sizes 60, 70, and 80. But Microtex needles actually go all the way up to a harpoon needle. You can buy them in size 110, which is a size 18 Microtex needle. I've never seen them like that, but I assume if you go to if you go to the Schmetz website, they must offer them there. But yeah, what a range of Microtex needles. And they're just commonly known as the sharp needle because they've got an incredibly sharp point and a much smaller eye on it. I had a heck of a challenge trying to thread the needle on this CL8 just truly without using the aid of like a needle threader or something like that because it has such a tiny eye. And the silk thread that I'm using, this stuff right here, it tends to, as you're trying to push it through the eye of the needle, it kind of spreads apart on the end a little bit. True confessions, I finally had to put a little bit of spit on the end so that the fibers would stick together, and then I was able to thread it fairly easily. But but our setup is 100% silk thread with a size 80 microtex needle. And it says in this guide, it says the fabric use, you can sew on polyesters, you can sew on silk, foils, artificial leather, which is why I grabbed some of this Naugahyde. I didn't try the Naugahyde with this setup, but Naugahyde is a fake leather, so I'm assuming that it'll work fine. What else do they have? Coated materials is another material that you can sew with a microtex type needle. Let's see. And then it says it creates beautiful top stitching. This is really a needle if you want to do like product production or something that you're offering for sale and you want that top stitch to just be spot on and just be like, wow, amazing. Microtex needles are a great needle to go to. And I don't want to steal any, assuming that Ginny is in the live stream, I don't want to steal any of her thunder. But what I'm asking you for again is if we're sewing with 100% silk and we're sewing with a microtex needle size 80, are there other materials that we could try sewing with this CL8 rotary machine on the live stream today without me having to change out the needle? Changing the thread is probably a little bit easier, but I'd like to try the silk thread today. So if there are other materials other than what I have set up already, and I'll show you what I've got. I've got a little bit of this. I have to finish cutting this out. I've got a little bit of this this vinyl paper. I was curious to try vinyl paper using a microtex needle and using silk thread. I've got some of this bubblegum material, which is a vinyl based, kind of a fake looking leather, is what bubblegum material really is. It's just quite a bit more stretchy than a lot of the fake leathers like the Naugahyde stuff. And then I've got some of this Naugahyde. And if Emma's in the live chat, which I assume she is, if Emma wants to share the history again, kind of a quick little thumbnail sketch of this Naugahyde that was really popular, I believe starting in the late 1940s, early 1950s. But this also is a fake leather. And according to the pocket guide for Schmetz, this microtex needle should do well with this type of material. And then finally, of course, I've got just 100% cotton with a little bit of a stiffener in it. So do a little bit of research for me right now, if you would. Is there some other materials that I might have in the workshop that we can try with our setup of 100% silk thread and a size 80 microtex needle that I haven't shown you in this little sew off pile that I have prepared? Because I'd be willing to cut some other material and have a wider field of materials we can sew on this CL8 rotary from 1963. Does anyone know? I'm going to go right to this right away as I begin to compare and contrast this CL8 to the beloved, coveted Featherweight 221 and 22-1 as well. What size motor does a machine like this have? Again, this is a CL8 rotary from 1963. We know that the Featherweight has a 0.4 amp motor, whether it's the standard Featherweight or whether it's the free arm Featherweight convertible that I've shown a number of times recently on this channel, the 222K. Both of those Featherweight style machines have a 0.4 amp motor. What size motor is on this CL8 rotary? What do you think? I'll look at the live chat. I'll go around and say some good mornings. But first of all, I need to do my job and finish cutting out this vinyl paper stuff. And again, if you want a fun project to do with the grandkids or the neighbor kids, or if you just want to have a little bit of fun yourself, I've stitched on this a number of times using different needles, even leather needles. And you can buy this. It's part of the Crafter's Corner at the Dollar Tree. They might have it at other Dollar type Tree, Dollar General places as well. But you can buy a roll of this stuff. It's 12 inches by 48 inches. 12 by 48 inches, $1.25. and you can do a lot of fun projects with this stuff, with anybody. So I like to sew on this when I can, just for a little bit of fun, and it's kind of fun to look at the stitching and the holes going through this paper material as well. All right, let me finish. I'm going to focus on cutting this as you're doing a little bit of research for me and telling me whether or not there are other materials that I might have in the workshop that we might be able to sew on this CL8. And with a different setup, this CL8 can sew anything. Let me just say that straight away. We could do multiple layers of leather and you name it. There's no ceiling really with this CL8. Incredibly strong machine. All right, I'm going to try this. You already know I can't sew in a circle. Now I'm going to see if I can cut in a circle. See if I can even cut reasonably straight. All right, almost there. Yeah, I didn't do bad. It didn't do too bad. All right, let me throw those scissors to the side. Get this out of the way. So we got a fairly small stack of sew-offs. I'm also going to take you to the other workbench as well and show you a very special gift that Candido and Rachel from New York sent me. They sent it because they're just very, very lovely, kind, thoughtful individuals. But Candido and Rachel explained, because I mailed that parts machine so that Candido could finish off that Viking 1010, they wanted to do something in return, and I didn't expect it. They know I didn't expect anything. I wanted to send it. I send things to my leaders all the time to show appreciation to them. Ask Bill sometime what I've sent over the years. Bill's been working with me from Kissimmee, Florida, longer than any of my leadership team members, and I have mailed him some fun stuff over the years. I love doing that. I love giving stuff away, and we're going to be giving more stuff away stream today as well. And I'll quickly say to Teresa, assuming Teresa and Bill from Minnesota are in the workshop, this has been a nightmarish week that I just went through, and I did not have time to mail off your double eye needles yet, but I'm going to get them in the mail first thing this week, and so you should get them in the next couple of days. You'll get them next week. You'll get them next week, and I know Bill is excited to try these out, and also I know Teresa is as well, because she's really stoked. I posted her pictures on Facebook of her comparison between a standard twin needle type sewing needle and a double eye needle. And some of you that are really, really new to sewing or are not as familiar with needles might not have a clue. Let me see if I can find them. Might not have a clue even what I'm talking about, but I'll show you the two needles real quick. So this is the double eye needle that Bill and Teresa won on the last live stream, and I'm going to be giving some more needles away. Actually, correction, my leaders are going to be giving some needles away today, so I'll let them decide how they're going to do it. But these double eye needles, instead of having a single shank with two needles kind of fanning off of it like these. You can see them through the packaging. That's a traditional twin needle or a double needle, double style needle. What Schmetz decided to do is change it up. And instead of having this design, they came out with this design. And it's a single needle that has one hole above the other. So Teresa could explain it a lot better than me, because she had a great deal of success using these, but it's just a different setup, a different design. So, I'd like to give more needles away in the live stream. Let me put these away real quick. Give some more needles away today and give folks an opportunity to try something new, try something a little bit different. I'm going to put that away. So yeah, the double needles are going out to Teresa and Bill this week. I also have something else I picked up for them, because both of them have really cool dogs. Hold on a second. most of you know who, if I mention the name, if I mention the name Hank, if I mention the name Hank, most of you know who I. You've seen him in different pictures, you've seen him in videos, etc. And out of any of the treats that I've given to Hank, apart from maybe something I might bring back from a restaurant, you know, dogs and table scraps, right? I mean, that's like their ultimate. That's their nirvana of eating. If you bring home like a little piece of chicken or roast beef or something else like that, most dogs I've ever known, that is their nirvana. That's their favorite place to be. That's their eatery heaven. But apart from that, Hank loves these treats, and they're really good for the dog too. It's put out by a company called Supreme, and it's 100% natural, 100% natural, no additives, none of that junk that they put in a lot of products for our pets. And these have the richest smell to them. It's a meaty, almost a barbecuey smell. I wish you could smell them through the camera. But Hank absolutely loves these things. He loves them. And there's a good portion in here. I don't remember how much, about, it says 4 ounces, but it's like 20 pounds. I mean, they're tiny little pieces and they last a long time. So I'm going to send a bag of these along with the double eye needles to Teresa for Rutger, and then also send a bag with the double eye needles to Bill in Minnesota for Nora. And then the Cow Country family is taking care of our pets, taking care of our four-legged family members as well. So the package, when Teresa and Bill get it, it's going to look a little bit bigger than it needs to be for a pack of needles, and that's because these are going to be inside as well with that. So at any rate, I'll get to that this week, and then you'll be able to sew and make your puppies happy at the same time, that's good stuff, isn't it? That's good stuff. All right. Okay, let's see what we got. Yeah, let me go over to the other workbench real quick, and I'm going to show you something. I'm going to show you that gift that Candido and Rachel sent me from New York. And I still am figuring this a little bit, so I'm not going to be able to pizzazz you. I'm not able to pizzazz you with how to use this like a master. But I've got this FOF 130-6 on top of this really cool electronic scale. And I had talked about in a couple of the live streams where my scale was not being accurate anymore. It wasn't being accurate. And so apparently Candido and Rachel were listening, and they did something about it. They went to Amazon and they picked up this cool scale for me. And the way it works is you're not supposed to have the item on there when you turn it on. So what I have to do is I have to turn it on and then lift the machine up and then set it back down, and then it'll tell me the weight on here. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this gadget on. There's our easy to read display. There's also an AC DC plug-in thing as well that you can put in, so you don't need to use batteries with it. Otherwise you can use batteries and it works really well as well. So let me set this down. I'm going to set the camera down. See if I can get this set up reasonably well. All right. There we go. And I have to remember to do this right. I've got to remember to push hold, and then it'll remember the weight once I get done with it. So I'm just going to pick the machine up a little bit so the scale can read it. Did I do it right? I don't know if I did it right or not. All right, let me try it again. I might have done it wrong. There we go. I did it right that time, I think. So then you pick it up, and it tells you that this FOF 130-6, I'm kind of looking at the screen, if you can see it. There it is. This FOF 130-6 weighs 32.4 pounds. And then if you're over in the UK and you love the other scale of let's see here, kilograms. If you like kilograms, you could do the same thing. Let me take that off, push it again. So if we want to know how much that is in kilograms, see if I can do this again, hopefully. So this FOF 130-6 in kilograms is 14.71. 14.71 kilograms. I just love it. I think it's so much nicer. You guys know how I've been struggling when I try to show you the weights, even when my scale was working. I'd be trying to get the camera so you could read the little scale, blah, blah, blah. This is so much nicer. So much nicer. So my thanks to Candido and to Rachel out in New York for being so thoughtful and for being such great students and paying attention in the classroom and hearing me say this doggone scale is way off. And then they acted on that and they picked up a fabulous electronic style scale for me. And this thing goes all the way up to like 400 pounds. I don't think I'm ever going to have a sewing machine that weighs 400 pounds or 440 pounds or whatever it is. But if I do, I can weigh it on this scale. So I could even, if I got bored in the workshop, which I never do, I could even weigh myself in the scale because I weigh quite a bit less than 440 pounds, as you might suspect. I don't, yeah, I'm not even close to. So this scale can do that as well. But what a neat gift. And since we're focused on this 130-6 right now, this is the one that I did not demonstrate in the last live stream, but I told you it's available for sale. Just a reminder, if you need a workhorse machine, Movie Mike, and you can look up that live stream, it just happened. Movie Mike is offering this machine for sale. It's fully serviced and it is a monster. Plus, I got rid of that nasty cogged plastic type belt that we had slipping issues with, and I replaced it with a great V belt on both machines. So this thing is just, I might shoot a quick little reel and post it on Facebook of showing you this thing launched now, that it has proper traction. And proper traction also means it's laying down crazy beautiful stitching on top of that. Crazy beautiful stitching. So yeah, we're giving all kinds of opportunities for you to expand your collection of vintage sewing machines, whether it's a workhorse 130-6 like Movie Mike is offering, or this CL8 that we're going to be seeing on the live stream today. Both of them would be incredible additions to your personal collection. Incredible additions. All right. So I'm going to go down the live chat now, say some good mornings, see if anyone has any tips on additional materials that we might be able to sew on this live stream today. And then we're going to get into this. And I'll probably take this beautiful extension bed off so that we can get the camera a little bit closer to the action. But look at that workspace. It's absolutely insane. Let me go over to the laptop, go over to the laptop and see if I can check out what you're saying about some of the questions I asked. Okay. All right, let's see here. Let's see. Well, of course, the first one in the classroom was Susie. No surprise. Susie took it as a personal challenge when I said in one of the last live streams, I said, if anyone can get in the classroom when I'm starting the live stream, even before I click the final button to go live, there's already visibility where you can jump into the live chat straight away. And if anyone can beat Susie in the live chat, I'm going to send you something special. Susie took that as a personal challenge. She's like, no way. No one's going to beat me getting into my classroom. It's not going to happen. Well, nobody beat her this morning. Emma and I were pretty close, but she still beat us. So I'm going to issue that challenge again, that if anyone wants to really try to demonstrate your speed and your vitality, and the fact that no matter what age you are, you still got it. You're still vivacious. You're still an animal. Ah, you're still an animal, and you can get in that classroom. When I start a live stream before Susie, if you can do that, if you're willing to take that challenge, let me guarantee that you are going to be absolutely toe tapping happy when you get the special gift that I send you for beating her in the classroom. You're going to be like, no way, no way. So again, take the challenge, watch for the live stream on Tuesday or Saturday to go live. Be the first one to type something into the live chat before Susie does, and I'll be mailing you something that's going to knock your socks off. You're going to be like, wow, wow. So, all right. But at any rate, congratulations to Susie again. She is the world champion for being the first in the classroom. World champion. All right. Good morning to Emma as well from the great state of Florida. Good morning to Tim. Great to have Tim here. And thank you, Tim, for the apple. I assume the apple is for the teacher, and I'm the primary teacher, but it could just as easily, I'll share it with others. We'll cut it into pieces, and we'll give it to all the fellow teachers that are in the live stream as well. Because again, that's our culture. You're a student, you're also a teacher. So embrace that and make the most of it. Yeah, make the most of it. All right, there we go. Let's see here. Good morning also to Candido and Rachel out in the great state of New York. And thank you again for that really, really cool electronic scale. I've been a naughty boy. I've been like taking time away from working on machines to weigh stuff just to see how much it weighs in the workshop. I wonder how much this weighs. Hey, I wonder how much this weighs. What does this weigh? Does this weigh that? Does a gallon of milk really weigh about 8 pounds? I've been out of control. So while I appreciate it, I'm going to set it off to the side so I'm not utterly distracted by trying to weigh everything. I mean, it's a guy thing. It's got to be a guy thing. You got to know how much something weighs. It's like touching wet paint or something. You just got to do it. You got to do it. All right, who else do we have? Teresa. Good morning to Teresa and also Rutger. Good morning to Woof Woof Rutger. Hey, good to have Teresa here and also her puppy who's going to be enjoying those yummy treats really, really soon. Really soon. Who else do we have? Who else do we have? La 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 la. Yes. Good morning to our ambassador of needles. Good morning to Jenny from the great state of Ohio, if I remember correctly. Good morning to Jenny. And again, if any of you have any tips on other materials with our current setup, 100% silk thread, a size 80 microtex needle, I'll look and see in the chat if anyone typed any suggestions. I wonder what denim would do. You know what I mean? I wonder how denim would respond to 100% silk thread and a microtex needle. I got no idea. But if there's no other suggestions, we might just experiment a little bit today and see how far we can push the envelope before we give the people at Schmetz who follow us on YouTube and they follow us on Facebook, before we give the Schmetz needle people a heart attack. We'll have to see if we can push the envelope a little bit, and all of a sudden people will be saying, I didn't know you could sew that with a microtex needle. I didn't know that. So yeah, we do that all the time to the poor people at Schmetz, but I think they like our gusto. I really do. I think they like our gusto. All right, who else do we have? Who else? Still scrolling. Yeah, I just read Teresa's comment. She says, I was hoping that you wouldn't be offended by Rutger wearing the hat. Are you kidding? Susie loves dogs. I know for sure. She probably loves all creatures. And when we get a picture of a puppy wearing a cow country hat that Susie made over there in Minnesota, that is the best. That's absolutely the best. Because I think all of us in this live stream, all of us either have or have had fur babies. Don't they call them fur babies? They call them fur babies, I'm pretty sure. Now, Bill in Kissimmee, Florida would beg to differ. He would say, no, they're not fur babies. They're feather babies, because Bill's a bird guy, right? Bill down in Kissimmee, Florida, Bill O'Rourke is a bird guy. So he'd be like, hey, don't cut the birds out. Don't out. There are fur babies and there are feather babies. And who knows, maybe if you love fish, maybe there's scale babies. I have no idea. But we all love our critters, don't we? We love our critters. Kind of like, if you remember that program, the Beverly Hillbillies. And one of the things I loved about the character of Ellie is she loved critters. You remember her? The beautiful daughter, or not the beautiful daughter, the beautiful niece. Wasn't she the niece to Jed Clampett? And just a beautiful gal. And she was always interacting with nature, always loving on critters. And she had a way with critters. The critters knew that Ellie loved them. And so right away in the program, in the series of Beverly Hillbillies, she had an immediate bond with critters, where the critters would be suspect of anyone else, but not Ellie. And so I think all of us have a little bit of Ellie in us, a little bit of Ellie, where we love critters, don't we? We love critters. And that seems to fit real well with cow country, doesn't it? That seems to fit really, really well. All right, who else? Who else do we have in the live chat? Yeah, so Jenny asked the question earlier, and she may have already gotten the answer, but the type of needle we're sewing with is a size 80 microtex needle, a size 80 microtex needle. So yeah, if anyone has any other material suggestions on what we can try to sew during this live stream, I would love to get that input, because we've got a fairly small field of materials right now, and I'd love to be able to expand that a little bit further. I'm thinking we could get away with sewing denim with a size 80 microtex needle, but I'm going to leave that to our ambassador of needles. I'm going to leave that to Jenny, and also maybe she can reach out to Teresa a little bit. Those two ladies have had a lot of success with needles, and maybe even whoever wants to jump in can jump in, obviously. But let's see if we can't pick out a couple more materials to try with 100% silk thread and a size 80 microtex needle. I don't remember what I did with the needle pack. I lost it. No, here it is. So this is, again, the needle on the far right. The far right is the one we're sewing with in the machine today. I could have gone with a size 60 or a size 70, but I've got a lot of customers, a lot of friends down in the great state of Texas, and they have built into my character, go big or go home. Go big or go home. So the biggest one in the pack that Susie sent me was a size 80. So right away, I went for the size 80. That was going to happen. But now that I know they have these microtex needles in sizes up to size 18, or the equivalent of 110. Oh my goodness gravy. I'm going to go searching for that. I want to get one of those Harpoon microtex needles and just see how far we can push that needle before I crash and burn. Got to try it. All right. What else do we have? Good morning also to Sheila Kilgore. Great to have Sheila as part of the live stream again. Sheila's a regular, and I don't know much about Sheila. So if Sheila wants to share anything about herself, just so we can get to know her a little bit better, that'd be awesome. That's true for anybody. Maybe does she have a fur baby? Does she have a feather baby? A scale baby? What is she? I don't know. So I don't know a thing about Sheila Kilgore, but if she wants to share something more, yeah, let's do it. We're all family, right? We're all family. All right. Also, good morning. Who else do we have? Good morning to Kathy King. I just heard my phone go off. Good morning to Kathy King as well. I have Kathy King in the live chat. Note that wasn't a text message. That was a reminder about something that I got to do. So it's funny too. You'll get that snooze option when you do like a reminder thing on your phone, and you'll click the snooze, and it reminds you again, it reminds you again, reminds you again, and then like I've already done it, just so the phone will leave me alone. Phones can be real pesty sometimes. Don't you agree? They're like really pushy. They're really pushy. Like, hey, hey, hey. The phone forgets that, I can decide not to charge you, and then let's see who's in charge. Okay. Yeah. So if your phone is being a bully to you, like my phone is a bully to me sometimes, then just don't charge the phone and you win. You win. Yeah. Why not? All right. Who else do we have? All right. Scrolling, 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 scrolling. I don't think I have any wool. I saw that Jenny had typed that you could type wool with this. I don't think I have any wool material in the workshop. Isn't that weird? I don't have any wool material. I might try. Let's see here. I might see if I can try some denim. But if Jenny, our needle ambassador, thinks that sewing denim with a microtex needle is a bad idea, then I probably won't do it. But I might try it anyway. I'm just curious to see how this setup will respond to denim. And I do like I did on the last live stream. I'm not going to do 8 layers. I'm not going to do 6 layers, not with a size 80 needle. I might do between 2 to 4 layers of denim. Unless Jenny thinks it's a real bad idea, then I might skip it. But I might be a rebel and do it anyway, even if our ambassador needle said, don't do it. I might say, well, you know what? I'm going to do it anyway because I'm a rebel. I'm a rebel. Yeah, I am. All right. Who else do we have? Yeah, all sizes needles. So we could even go back if I can find a size 18, which is a 110 microtex needle, a harpoon needle, like Sonny would say. Then I could still, from what Jenny just wrote, I can use silk thread even with a size 110 needle. But it may be a little bit of a challenge because I know when I read about sewing with silk thread, they said make sure you use a needle that has a smaller eye. And if you didn't know it, and Jenny can explain this a lot better than I can, needles have different style scarfs. The scarf, again, is on the same side as the flat side of the needle. And that's what allows the hook to get real close to the needle to grab the thread. But those scarves are going to be, some are going to be longer, some are going to be shorter, some are going to be deeper, some are going to be more shallow. And just like the rest of the anatomy of the needle, um, that eye that you thread or try to thread, that eye that you thread is going to be different as well. How long it is, and just the overall configuration of that eye. But apparently, when you're sewing with silk thread, you're supposed to use a needle that has a smaller eye, which generally, according to the Schmetz stuff that I read, and Jenny can set the record straight if I'm getting this wrong, but microtex needles generally have a much smaller eye because of the material specialty types that the thread types that people use. Yeah. So, at any rate, we're still learning about needles, aren't we? And thank goodness we've got folks in our family that are a lot more knowledgeable about that stuff than we are, and they can teach us, right? Again, back to sometimes a teacher, always a student. I'm always willing to learn. I'm always willing to learn. All right, who else do we got? I think that's about everybody. Scroll. Oh, good morning. Good morning as well to Joel from the great state of California. And Joel's 1222E is still getting some final adjustments. I showed you how many stitches that machine has and combination stitches on that FOF 1222E. Just with all the interruptions, I've been having a lot of drop-in customers as well. Some of them from Joanne. Some people just Google and they see my business hours are from about 10 a.m. until 6 p.m. Central Time, and they just say, "Oh, the guy's open," and they just show up. All of a sudden, I hear Hank going crazy upstairs, or somebody. I've got a little doorbell that rings down in the workshop. Somebody will be ringing the doorbell, ding, 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 ding. So I've just been getting a lot of interruptions, and they're good interruptions. Don't take that wrong. I love having customers come to the workshop. I love them to be able to do that. But it does take me away from finalizing projects. So Joel, I haven't forgotten you. Just be patient. We'll get that 1222E underneath the bright lights soon. But I want to make sure that I've done my job completely on that machine, and I'll present it. So yeah, stay tuned. Stay tuned. All right, who else do we have? Good morning also to Bill from the great state of Minnesota, screen name Mesa Group. And he's got that beautiful puppy, Nora, that recently we showed her on Facebook, having a first birthday being held by Bill's daughter, Lisa. So, and again, if Bill joined us a little bit late, I'm going to be mailing off those double eye needles, Bill, and also including some doggy treats as well for Nora so that she can say, "Hey, I like that cow country guy. Let's go visit him. Let's go visit him and go to the workshop. And maybe he's got even better treats that he can give me there." Yeah. Yeah. Minnesota's not too far from Wisconsin, right? It's just a hiccup. So yeah, Bill and Nora can come and visit anytime, and we'll go walking out on the causeway, and I'll give some really cool treats to Nora. And yeah, we'll just have a bunch of fun. So yeah, make that a road trip plan and we'll make it happen. Hopefully soon. Yeah. All right. Who else do we have? Let's see here. Still scrolling, still scrolling. Y'all are chatty today. I love it. Oh, we got a brand new person. We've got a brand new person that says that they've been lurking in the shadows. They've been lurking in the shadows. So, and I'm saying this playfully. I'm saying this playfully. I'm saying this playfully and with a smile that you can see now. Attention leaders, attention leadership team. We've got somebody in the live chat that has been lurking in the shadows. Be on high alert. They've got a very unique name too. They might be from a different country, like a lot of our family members, and they might be here to have fun. So monitor that person closely to see if they're having fun, because if they're not, there's something really wrong. But I want to welcome that person that's been lurking and has not commented before, that they're commenting now. It's awesome. Welcome. Have fun. And yeah, that's super cool. Super cool. Coco Tano. Am I saying that right? Coco Tano? Coco Tano? I have to say it really fast. Coco Tano. Tano. If I'm saying it, when I say it fast, it sounds cool, but I might also be getting closer to saying it right. So I don't know if anyone asked Cocotano, that's been lurking in the shadows like a creeper. High alert, leaders, high alert. Get ready to click, 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 click. But yeah, I don't know if Cocotano has shared where they're from. It's such a beautiful name. And it might just be a screen name, kind of like Bill Mesa Group. Bill's Bill's name is not Mesa Group, it's Bill. Yeah. So I don't know, maybe Cocotano is just a special name that they're using as their screen name. But at any rate, yeah, if they want to share where they're from, that'd be awesome. I'd love to know where Cocotano is from. And I'm so glad you stepped out of the shadows. You're not lurking anymore. Now we can see you and we can say, hey, welcome, welcome. Glad to have you here. Yeah, we are. Glad to have you here. Awesome. Ha ha! Yeah! Cocotano! And also, good morning to Sarah Wimmers. Great to have Sarah here. Sarah's a regular. I know nothing about Sarah. I'm being honest. I know nothing about Sarah. She might live in Guatemala. Sarah might live in Guatemala, or she might live in Texas. I have no idea. But most of you that are engaged in the live chat probably know more about Sarah than I do. But it's great to have Sarah here. Good morning, Sarah. And also good morning again to Cocotano. Yeah. Aha. All right. Who else do we have? I'm going to lose my voice here. I'm going to totally lose my voice. Oh, Cocotano is from Alabama. Or said properly, Alabama. Yeah. I have no idea what the significance of the name Cocotano is. I don't think there's anyone down in Alabama named Cocotano, but I might be wrong. But it's a really cool name. And I just got done shipping a machine back to Alabama. So I love Alabama. Alabama is like one of my favorite states. Yeah, it is. So welcome from Alabama. Alabama. Yeah. Yeah. And Jenny down near the bottom, Jenny had typed something about a size. A vintage size needle might be equal to a 1280. Not sure what that means, but yeah, that's generally true. Yeah, a size 80 would be equated to a size 12. But again, I'm just looking at little blips. I'm looking at little blips in the live chat, so I might be missing 99% of the story. So, any rate, but I'm glad we have Jenny on board. I'm glad we have others on board that are knowledgeable in special areas, and we can learn from them. Aren't you? Aren't you glad we have these people? Aren't you glad that we have a culture in the classroom where everyone can be a teacher? Everyone can learn from another person. Everyone has specialty tools in their toolbox, and you're allowed to, and you're encouraged to take them out and to show them to the class and say, hey, did you know? Or, hey, can I tell you something? Other places, let's face it, other places on Facebook and Etsy and Pinterest and other places like that, man, oh man, if you got a channel or you got a page and someone tries to take the role of woo! Holy mackerel, it's like the place catches on fire. Who do you think you are trying to teach us? Only so-and-so is the teacher. Yeah, that's my answer to that. That's part of the reason we have so many people that come to the Cow Country family is because you can be a teacher here and you can also be a student at the same time. That's the best of both worlds, I think. Yeah, it is. All right, who else do we have? Who else do we have? Oh, Sheila's got a puppy. I may have missed it when other people were talking about it. Let's see. Sheila has a 3.5-year-old. What is it? Blue-eyed tricolor cow dog mix. 3 barn cats and 27 chickens. Holy mackerel, Sheila, we need to do a live stream out at your place. We need to totally set up the cameras out at Sheila's place, and I can be like sewing off with some of these Microtex needles, and I'll have like a chicken sitting right next to the sewing machine looking at the needle, getting ready to peck at it. And Sheila will be going like in a slow motion voice. She'll be going like in a slow motion voice. No! As the needle is coming down, getting ready to hit the chicken. I mean, it could definitely not be family friendly. Maybe the idea of doing a live stream on Sheila's farm. I don't know. I don't know. Oh, we don't want to, yeah, we'll have PETA like coming into Oconto with guns blazing. Why are you abusing chickens? Why? We didn't mean to. We didn't mean to. It wasn't on purpose. All right, who else do we have? Oh, dang it. I just scrolled it the wrong way. Ah. I'm still scrolling. All right, I finally made it to the bottom. I'll be the leaders know that I always send them a summary. I always try to send them a summary of some stats about our live streams. It might be how many people we had in the live stream. It could be other information. And one of the little things on there is YouTube calls it chat rate, CHAT, chat rate. And we've had some live streams where there certainly isn't, people are talking to each other, but whatever the metrics are for YouTube, it's not enough talking, and so we'll get a 0 for the chat rate. But we've also had live streams where people are sharing and they're having fun with what they should be doing, and they're interacting with each other, they're getting to know each other. And I think our highest chat rate so far, and the leaders that I send this stuff to can correct me if I've got it wrong, but I think we hit a chat rate of 6. We hit a chat rate of 6 recently, and I don't know what the top number is for YouTube, but and again, we're not about numbers. Don't get that wrong. We're not about numbers at all. I don't care. I just want us to have fun and enjoy our time together. And if we have 10 people, or if we have 1,000 people that join our live stream, it's all good for me. I'm just enjoying having that exchange and sharing that company with all of you. But yeah, it'll be interesting. There's a lot of chat in this live stream already today, which is awesome. And I'll be excited to see at the end, and I bet you the leaders will be excited to see as well, what kind of chat rate did we get today? Was it 1? Was it 2? Was it 3? Was it whatever? I have no idea, but we'll find out. And now that I'm finally to the bottom of the live chat, I'm going to turn it over. I'm going to turn it over to the, I've got something in my eye today. I'm going to turn it over to the leadership team and leave them in charge of the live chat, the live stream, monitoring things, especially our friend from Alabama that lurks in the shadows. You better keep a close eye on that Alabama person. Yeah, you better. But at any rate, y'all are in charge. Thank you so much for what the leadership team does. And thank you to all of you for taking time out of your busy, what is today? Saturday? I think it's Saturday. It's been a blur. But thank you to all of you taking time out of your busy Saturday to join us today and to be a part of this live stream. We've already covered a lot already, and we haven't even started yet. But soon we'll be checking out this CL8 Rotary from 1963. And again, pay attention, it's for sale. And if you're interested in learning more about this very, very rare Swedish beauty, like I said, in 23 years, touching thousands and thousands and thousands of sewing machines, this is only the second, to my knowledge, this is only the second CL8 Rotary that I've had in the workshop. The other one belonged, like I shared in the earlier part of the live stream, the other one belonged to Juliet from Texas. and that's the one that burned up in the house fire. And then she and I collaborated to get another one back to them in Texas so that she and her mom could sew together again on that iconic machine. But this is a really, I want you to get it. This is a unicorn. This is a unicorn of a Swedish beauty. And if you've been looking for that machine that you can have in your collection, that pretty much no one in your sewing class, no one in your quilting retreat will probably have ever seen one of these. Uh, keep it in mind. Keep it in mind. You might want to scoop this one up. I'm almost tempted to scoop it up myself, but I've got over 200 machines already. Yeah, I could do that. Nah, I won't. I'm going to leave it open to all of you. But it goes back to how many sewing machines are enough? Just one more. Just one more. Yeah. So this is your one more right there. This is your one more right there. All right. Okay. So I might have missed it. I probably did miss it. But if no one guessed, as I start to focus on this machine now, if no one guessed the size of the motor on this CL8, let me tell you this, that it is almost 4 times more powerful than the Featherweight. It's almost 4 times more powerful than the Featherweight. So type in the live chat what size motor you think this has if it's about 4 times more powerful than the Featherweight. What size motor do you think I'm talking about on this CL8? And this is where this live stream is not going to really do this machine justice today in showing its heavy duty capabilities because of our setup with silk thread and sewing with Microtex needle size 80. But let me tell you one thing. This is a beautiful, sexy, are you kidding me? I really own this machine, but it's also a monster. It's a monster when it comes to its heavy duty capabilities. It's just a monster. Absolutely a monster. Yeah, Emma's spot on. 1.5 amps. 1.5 amps compared to a 0.4 amp on the Featherweight. And this again is a straight stitch only machine, just like the Featherweight. It's a straight stitch only machine like the Featherweight, but it is the cat's meow. It is the epitome. It is the pinnacle of straight stitching machines. Not only because it's got a monster engine, a monster motor of 1.5 amps, original Swedish engineering, original Swedish engineering with an original Swedish 1.5 amp motor, but it's got so many other cool features that we're going to explore today in this live stream. It kind of embarrasses the Featherweight a little bit when it comes to a straight stitch only machine. It really does. The Featherweight people usually kind of just drop their heads a little bit and walk out of the room. They just drop their heads and walk out of the room because how do you put a Featherweight up against a CL8 Rotary? You just can't do it. You just can't do it. All right, so let me do this. Let me change seats now because I'm over here sitting by the laptop, sitting here by the laptop. Now I'm going to go over and sit in the other chair, and we're going to start focusing on this CL8 so you can fall in love with it, and you can send me a text message and say, how do I get my mitts on Tom's incredibly rare CL8? How do I do it? What do I need to do? Tell me what to do. So, all right. Yeah, you're right, Bill. 1.5 amps, my friend. 1.5 amps. $1.5 amps. That's a lot of power. That's a lot of power. All right, I'm going to change seats now. Yeah, and the other benefit straight away as I get ready to take it off here is look at the workspace. The workspace compared to a Featherweight is just ridiculous, isn't it? And you've got to buy a featherweight convertible, a 222K, for around $3,000 to $4,000 in order to get a free arm. The standard featherweight doesn't have a free arm function. It's only the 222K that was made in Kilbowie, Scotland from 1953 to 1961. It's only that specialty featherweight model that offers you a free arm, but this one offers it for a lot less than a couple $1,000s. Much, much, much more affordable. I'm going to slide this off. Yeah, look at that. And when you talk about just dazzling people that might come to your place to check out your sewing suite. I think that's what they're calling them now, sewing suite. Someone comes to your place to check out your sewing suite and you've got this CL8 out on display. Right away, their eyes are going to gravitate towards that machine. Doesn't matter what else you have sitting out there. It's such a spectacular machine, the color. And this one is near museum quality. It's near museum quality. I mean, you can look at this extension bed. There's not a scuff on it. There's nothing. It's just absolutely gorgeous. The whole machine is just absolutely, it's a work of art. It's a work of art. All right, let me set this bed off to the side. And we'll start to get into this a little bit. Oh, let me also say that what I'm wanting to give away in this live stream today, is some of these. I make Schmetz upset when I do this. I'm sure I do, and so I'll just say in advance, sorry. Just having fun. It's the classroom, and it's also the playroom. See, it's also the playroom right there. So what do you do in a playroom? You have fun, right? We have fun in the playroom. We're not going to be all serious and stuffy in the playroom. So when I call these the super duper pooper scooper universal needles, I hope that the people at Schmetz smile and they're not offended. I hope that they smile and they're not offended. But these are really called a super universal natal blah, blah, blah needle. They're a universal needle, but they've got down on the bottom of the blade going down to the point. They've got a special, almost like those pots you use in the kitchen. What is that stuff called that they put on those pots so that they're non-stick? What is that stuff? It starts with a T. I can't think of it. But those non-stick pots, you know what I'm talking about. They put like a non-stick material on these needles running from the blade all the way down to the point. And then you can sew the stickiest of materials, whatever that is. And these things will just glide through without getting caught on that material. Just glide through like a hot knife through butter. So if you'd like to get a pack of these super duper pooper scooper universal needles with that fancy stuff that's on the needle that makes it non-stick, like those pots you use in the kitchen. I'm going to look at the live chat, see if anyone came up with the word. Yes! Ha! I say it all the time. Y'all are the smartest on the globe, around the globe. You're the smartest. Teflon, yes. Teflon. So these have some sort of like a Teflon coating on them so that when you have a real sticky material or a fabric or whatever maybe you're trying to sew tires. I have no idea what you're sewing, but whatever you're trying to sew, these things are just supposed to glide through and glide back. No problem. So I'm going to leave it up to the leadership team. They can come up with their own little mini contest. It's up to them. They can come up with it. It doesn't have to be in this live stream, but if they could do it in this live stream, that's great. I know most of them are able to communicate behind the scenes, so you can come up with something. And that's Emma texting me right now. Hold on a second. You come up with something that's kind of fun. And maybe being the first, here's a thought, maybe being the first to type a quick summary of the history of the Viking Husqvarna sewing machine company. I'm not saying that that's the thing to do. I'll leave it up to the leadership team, but if they want to do something to do with the maker of the sewing machine, to do something to do with Viking Husqvarna or something to do with this model or whatever, that's up to them. Is the bed longer than usual? It looks longer. I think it's the angle, Emma. I think it's the angle of the bed. When I was extending it out, let me tell you how long it is. Emma just sent a note and she said, "Is that bed longer than usual?" It isn't. It's standard, like the other Swedish beauties. So from end to end, you're looking at about 15 inches. From end to end, you're looking at a workspace of right around 15 inches from here to there. And then from front to back, let's see. Somebody's texting me. Ah! Uh, the width or the depth of the bed as far as workspace in the harp area is right around 8 inches. So if you want to compare it to your featherweight to know how much workspace this CL8 has, 15 inches by 8 inches is the workspace that you would have. And then again, unless you own a featherweight convertible, a 222K, and you spent thousands of dollars on it, you can get this one dirt cheap compared to that. And this one is going to give you that free arm as well. And the beauty of the free arms on the Swedish beauties is they are considerably more narrow. The free arms on the Swedish beauties are considerably more narrow, which when you're dealing with children's clothing, especially, or if you're a real petite person, if you're very very petite, and you try to get a cuff or whatever over a free arm on your other machines, and it just won't fit because the free arm is too big, it's too bulky. Uh, on this one, from end to end, oh, that's I've got it facing the wrong way. Hold on a second. From end to end on this free arm right here, you're talking about 2.5 inches. 2.5 inches wide compared to a lot of the other free arms on machines that can be 3, almost 4 inches wide. I mean, they're huge. And then when you're dealing with smaller clothing, maybe children's clothing or petite clothing, you try to fit that over, and there's no way it's going to happen. There's no way. On this one, it's got such a narrow, small free arm, you can fit nearly anything over it with ease. So that's another huge benefit of this machine as well, along with the monster motor that is almost 4 times more powerful than the featherweight, almost 4 times more powerful than the featherweight. Just crazy. All right, I just got text bombed by somebody. Let me see who it is. Who is on there? Oh, okay. That's the owner. Tom Olson, had sent me an early morning text. He was going to come here and pick up after the live stream. He was going to pick up the CL8 if it's not sold, and then he also was going to be picking up 2 other machines that I finished for him as well. But he didn't call me. He sent me a text this morning saying he woke up and he was sick. He was not feeling well. And this is if you remember me describing Tom Olson, imagine him in a courtroom. Imagine him in a courtroom. He stands about 6'7", 6'6", 6'7". He's a big guy. He had to duck when he came down to the workshop. And so he's a tough dude. He's a tough dude. And when he says he's sick, he's sick. But he apparently man up. What do they say? Man up. He manned up. He manned up, or whatever the phrase is. And he just sent me a text. I'm on my way, and will be arriving between 1:45 to 2 today. Even though he's not feeling well, he's going to be driving all the way up from Illinois to come to the workshop to pick up his 3 machines. Yeah, that's way cool. Let me just answer him back real quick. Fabulous, comma, live streaming your CL8 Rotary as we speak. Okay. Yeah, I'll just show you real quick. And Tom, again, works as a lawyer. You can't see his number. It's private and all that. But Tom is a big fan of what I do. been following my work for a long time. When he was in the workshop the last time, he actually wanted to pose with the King of Sweden. That little frog guy in the corner over there. You see him? Yeah, imagine a 6 foot, 6'6", 6'7" lawyer guy standing down in the workshop, cuddling the King of Sweden and taking selfies of himself. That just tickles my fancy. It really does. That's just the cutest thing ever. That's the cutest thing ever. So no, Emma, I think that this is the same. I think that this is the same. I know that this is the same size. This is the same size as all the other beds that go with these green machines like this. The same size. Again, 15 by 8. 15 by 8. So a lot of workspace. A lot of workspace. Okay, some of the other features real quick on this machine, and then I want to show you some of the providential material that Tom is going to be including with this machine for the new owner, which I think is really fabulous. Really, really fabulous. So some of the other features on this machine, number one, it has that Swedish engineering in the raceway where the hook system is able to move left to right and also up and down. In other words, it's a floating, not a fixed rotary hook system. The benefit of that is that you can run much heavier thread on this CL8 rotary than a standard rotary type sewing machine, because instead of the hook being fixed and rotating in a limited, basically no motion to that hook at all, this hook is able to move up and down, left and right, so that that thread can pass through the raceway without getting jammed. And that's why the Swedish coined this raceway a jam-free raceway. The Featherweight does not have a jam-free raceway. It certainly is a rotary hook system, but you can run into, and if you own, or if you've known others that have owned a Featherweight, if you try to run some of the heavier threads, even the, say, 40 weight upholstery thread in them, you can run into some problems with that hook system jamming on the Featherweight. This one, you can run much heavier thread through it. I'd say probably about 80 or 90 weight thread without any issues. I am text blowing up here. I have a quick question from the owner. I told the owner that I'm live streaming it, and they probably right away thought that I named a price. They thought right away that I named a price, and so he sent me a quick note. I mean, he's a lawyer, right? He's a lawyer. He's a very good lawyer, a very good man too. But he sent me a quick note saying, "Did you already quote a price? What do you think we should ask?" So let me invite all of you just for fun, knowing that this is an incredibly rare Swedish beauty. And it does come with a carrying case. You already seen the extension bed. It comes with a number of attachments as well. It comes with the providential material that's going to blow your socks off. What would you anticipate that a machine like this would sell for? And I know that's a little bit of a dangerous question to ask, but I'm just curious to see what your perception is of a Swedish beauty that is in a real rare class as a straight stitch only machine. Really is the type of machine that quilters and free motion people as well dream about. This is really a dream machine for anyone to have in their collection. And so what price would you think that Tom would ask for a machine like this? Again, it comes with a carrying case. Let's see if I can show it to you real quick. Comes with a carrying case that is like practically brand new. Whoops. I caught the camera just in time. See, that's the risk I run into. That's the risk I run into when I'm trying to do too much. Oh my goodness gravy. That would have been horrible if that camera had hit the workshop floor. It's a beautiful case. Just take my word for it. It looks like it's a brand new case, but it's original. I'm not going to try that again. Holy mackerel, that was spooky. You should have seen the contortionist move that I made to hang onto the phone and grab the camera, and then also grab the live stream camera at the same time. It was just ridiculous, just absolutely ridiculous. Okay, so let me answer the customer back real quick. All right, I just answered Tom back because he was asking for my input on price, but I'm curious to see all of you as well, as far as your assessment of a rare beauty like this that is in mint condition. Again, near museum quality, fully serviced in the workshop, and running just tip top. Uh, so I'm curious to see if anyone's willing to take a stab at it. Okay, what does it weigh? See if I could bring it all the way over to the other workbench to tell you. Uh, with the extension bed, Kathy King, with the extension bed, the machine itself is probably going to weigh about a little bit more than 2 times the weight of a featherweight. It's probably going to be right around 26 to 28 pounds. 26 to 28 pounds for a CL8 rotary. I would lean closer to 28 pounds. A featherweight comes in around 11 pounds, so it's going to be about 2.5 times the weight of a featherweight. But again, beautiful carrying case, portability, easy to transfer that machine around. Again, I'm sitting right now, and I'm lifting it in kind of an awkward way. It's not a boat anchor, not a boat anchor at all. It's got portability. It's fairly light, and it is metal though. It's not aluminum. Remember, the featherweight is cast aluminum. Swedish beauties are made out of metal, so they get a magnetic ferrous response. Except for down here, the free arm on. If you didn't know this, the free arm on a Swedish beauty, whether it's a CL8 or any other green machines, down here, portions of this are going to be made out of cast aluminum. The free arm itself is going to be cast aluminum. You can see we're not getting a magnetic response down here. So this machine is a mix of aluminum and steel. The overall framing of the machine, the arm, the pillar, the bed is also going to be aluminum cast as well. And that's why it doesn't weigh in as heavily as some machines that would be of comparable size. So you've got aluminum down here, you've got aluminum here, and then you've got steel up here where the main shaft and most of the mechanics are going to be housed. So that's where it really is surprisingly lightweight for a machine that's built like a tank. It's built like a tank, literally. So yeah, I mean, I think it's easy to. I think it'd be a very easy thing to take to quilt. A very easy machine to take to a sewing class or a sewing retreat or to a friend's house if you really want to make them hate you. If you want to make them hate you and you sewing on a machine that they probably have never seen before. A lot of people have seen CL21As or 21Es or 19Es or 19 specials. I've shown those on this channel numerous times. I can count on less than one hand how many times I've shown a CL8 rotary. Twice. That's how rare these machines are. So yeah, if you're looking for a machine that number one, it'll just blow any other machine out of the water from a standpoint of its features. Not to mention, I didn't even get to it yet. Didn't even get there. But along with a jam-free raceway, so you can put a harpoon needle for leather, and you can sew leather on this machine all day long, instead of sewing with a microtex needle like we are today with silk thread. You could put a leather needle in this CL8 rotary and you could be going through 12 to 14 hours of leather in a hiccup. And the other beauty is, and there's no featherweight in the world that offers this. The other beauty is it's got that coveted slow gear feature on this machine as well. This machine you can take from full speed, and you can take it all the way down to 1/5 speed by pulling out the bobbin winding assembly on the right side. And we'll do that during the live stream today. So why would I personally, and this is my personal take on it, why would I personally, if I were shopping for a machine and I had been thinking about a featherweight or maybe even a featherweight convertible for thousands of dollars? Again, the average price for an unproven, unserviced featherweight convertible on eBay is right around $2,500 to $3,000. You're not going to come anywhere close to that price with this machine. And I don't know if the owner's okay if I give the price. I think he is. I think the owner's okay if I tell the price because we've agreed on a price now as we're texting back and forth. Yep, he liked it. So I'm going to show you the price that you can get this machine for, fully serviced. As a matter of fact, I'm going to add another sweetness to it. I'm going to add a little bit more sweetness to this offer on behalf of my good friend Tom. I'm going to give you a limited lifetime warranty on this machine as well. You run into a problem other than neglect or abuse of this machine during the time that you own it, send the machine back to me. I'll fix it for free and ship it back to you. You have to pay the shipping, obviously, but as far as any parts or repair, for the duration that you own this machine, I'll cover it for a lifetime. I'm that confident in the work that I've already poured into this machine. So why would I pick this machine over a featherweight? Because it's almost 4 times more powerful. It's got a larger workspace. It's like a featherweight. It's a combination of aluminum and steel, so it's considerably more lightweight than a full-scale type, full-size machine. Remember, the featherweight is only a half size. It's a half size. It's not even a 3/4 size machine. So you're talking about a full-size machine versus a half-size machine only being slightly heavier because they constructed it out of aluminum and steel, not just all steel. You're going to have a jam-free raceway, so you have a lot wider scope of threads that you can use on this machine. And that, because of that moving rotary hook system on this machine, it's not going to be jamming up on you like a featherweight will. You also have the benefits of the slow gear on this machine as well. The slow gear that's going to allow you to take the machine from full speed down to 1/5, which gives you unbelievable control, where you're really having to sew and lay down those stitches in a very specific limited space. With a featherweight, you're going to be trying to manage that speed with that little Bakelite foot controller with that tiny little button. And it really can be a bugger sometimes trying to regulate speed evenly on a featherweight because of the foot controller design and because the machine does not have the benefit of a slow gear. You know, for all of those reasons, not to mention, Swedish engineering. Nothing against the machines that were made in Elizabethport, New Jersey. Nothing against the Singer machines that were made in Anderson, South Carolina, or even Kilbowie, Scotland. But in my experience with working with thousands of machines, Swedish engineering, it's just at a different level. It's at a different level than any other machine out there. It really is. I mean, I can't say it any other way. They're built just with utter perfection. And that's why I can give it a lifetime limited warranty and not be concerned about the machine ever coming back, because it's just built like a tank. But it doesn't weigh like a tank, thank God. It doesn't weigh like a tank. And then the power. I like power. I'm a typical guy. I would much sooner have a machine that's just a little bit heavier, a lot more workspace, jam-free raceway, slow gear, portability, and almost 4 times the power of the featherweight. That makes this machine able to handle pretty much any sewing project that you could possibly put in front of it, from incredibly lightweight to super heavy duty leather sewing, canvas sewing, practically anything. So that's my, I won't even call it a sales pitch. I'll call it a testimonial. That's my testimonial on this machine. Again, if I didn't have over 200 machines, when Tom told me that he wanted to sell this, and I'll show you the price that he's asking for the machine, the extension bed, goodies. Wait until I talk about the providential material and so the beautiful, like new carrying case that I almost knocked the camera and broke the camera during the live stream to try to show you. Uh, Matter of fact, you know what? Before I show you the price, before I show you the price, before I show you the price, I want to show you these providential materials because some of this stuff, with all the machines that I've had in my care, some of this stuff I've never seen before, ever. I've never seen it. So, oh, also obviously an instruction manual too. An instruction manual for the CL8 will be going with the machine also. Let's see what else we have. How interesting. They even give the dimensions. They give the dimensions and the weight of the carrying case that I almost took the camera, the live stream camera out with. They give the weight and the dimensions. There's a little hair hanging on the camera, probably from me dropping it almost. The carrying case, this is really interesting to me. You know, I've had some carrying cases like the one that came with that Bernina machine that Kevin and Doreen brought. They brought it from Iowa, and then they came back out to pick it up at Bernina. I don't remember the number on it. It's 625 or something like that. At any rate, that carrying case for that Bernina was like lifting a bag of potatoes. It's ridiculously heavy. The carrying case for this machine, on this information that they included, that Tom included, carrying case weighs 4.5 pounds, and it's 12.5 high and 16.5 long and 9 inches wide. I wouldn't have expected the carrying case to only weigh about 4 pounds. That's ridiculous. That's ridiculously light. That's where, again, I say this has a great deal of portability. What else do I have? Providential materials that are going to go with this machine. Viking Free Arm Model 8, complete with portable case. Oh, how interesting. Okay, I see what this is now. Oh, I didn't know this. If I'm reading this correctly, this machine originally was bought in Green Bay, Wisconsin, brand new at Ultimatic Sewing Centers on Monroe Avenue. And it was bought by Leo Cornely, and the price for this back in 1963. Does anyone want to guess the price of this machine back in 1963? It was purchased just before Christmas, December 23rd, 1963. December 23rd, 1963. Leo in Green Bay bought it, and I didn't know if he bought it for himself or for his wife as a wow Christmas present. A wow Christmas present. But what do you think Leo paid for this back in 1963 in Green Bay, Wisconsin? What do you think he paid? Scott could put her on the scale for us. I already lifted it like this and twisted it back and forth from a sitting position. If that doesn't tell you that this is reasonably lightweight, because it's aluminum, steel. I'm not going to try to move. I'm not going to try to move that scale with that big FOF sitting on top of it. Because I'll tell you one thing: that FOF 130-6 that's sitting on top of the scale that Candido and Rachel gave me, that thing is not lightweight. That FOF 130-6, that is a boat anchor. That That FOF 130-6 is a boat anchor. I'm just going to say it. It is. It's a boat anchor. It's a boat anchor. Oh, okay. Uh, the owner, Tom just sent me a quick note. He bought it for his wife. Yeah. So Leo in Green Bay, Wisconsin, days before Christmas in 1963, buys this as a special gift for his wife. So guess what? Guess what? Along with all the providential stuff I'm going to show you, including the original sales receipt, this is a one owner machine. This is a one owner machine. Tom really hasn't used this machine at all. He brought it to the workshop so it could get a dose of workshop magic. So without Tom really using it as a working machine, it came from Leo as a gift that he got for his wife in Christmas, the Christmas of 1963. It's been fully serviced now in the workshop, and you will be, for all practical purposes, in direct succession to the original owners that bought this machine brand new. This was not a machine that Tom was using. This was a machine that Tom acquired, and then he wanted to go through the workshop, and then in that process decided he wanted to offer it for sale. So direct original owner machine going directly to you, directly from those owners that bought it in 63 directly to you. I always tell you, when you get an original owner machine, beyond the fact that a CL8 is ridiculously rare, I've only had 2 of them in 23 years of doing this. When you get a machine that has those original owners and you're in direct succession to them, I can't even put a value on this machine. I will, based on what the owner's given me permission to do, but I can't even put a value on this machine. I can't even tell you. And then the owner, Tom, just shared with me that Leo, that bought this for his wife brand new in December of 63, his wife's sister, you know how it is with sisters. If you've got sisters in your family as siblings, sisters, they are like in sync, like synchronized swimmers. If one sister does one thing, guess what? Another sister is going to do pretty much the same thing. And that's what happened with this situation back in 1963. Leo goes in to buy this machine as a surprise for his wife for Christmas, days before Christmas. And I guess it would be his brother-in-law, finds out what he's doing, and he's not going to be outdone. Are you kidding me? So Leo's wife's sister then gets the identical machine at Christmas as well. I'm sure that this dealer in Green Bay must have been happier than a clam, because Leo goes in and buys a machine. Then his brother-in-law goes in to buy the identical type machine for his wife. So these two sisters can sit side by side and sew with their CL8 rotary machines. I mean, the story behind this machine alone just gets my toe tapping. It really, 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 truly does. Unbelievable. Twin machines, as Tom referred to them. So I don't know if anyone tried to guess. $339.95. I love it, Bill. $339. Oh, $389. I got to clean my glasses. About $389, almost $400 is what Bill was guessing. Almost $400 back in December of 1963, when Leo bought that machine for his wife, and then his brother-in-law bought another identical twin machine for his wife. He would have paid around $400. Well, you know what? Leo was a smart shopper because he got a heck of a deal. Back in 1963, according to this original sales receipt 8788, he got this machine, original case, all the goodies, everything, for right around $209. $209. You can see it right about over here. Not sure what all this math is working out to. Maybe there was a trade-in machine or something like that, because it looks like they were at 209.45, and then they made a slight reduction and got the price down further for Leo. I think Leo may have been a New Yorker, and you know those New Yorkers. What are you talking about? I'm going to pay $200 for this Swedish machine for my wife? Are you serious? Are you out of your mind? What would you be asking for that machine if you really wanted to sell it? Huh? What would you be asking if you really wanted to sell it? You know, that's the way New Yorkers are. That's the way I was raised, is to be a barterer. So back in 1963, Leo got a steal of a deal, and original price was about $210, if I'm reading this correctly. And then maybe there was a trade-in machine or something. I've got no idea. But the price ended up getting dropped down to about $143 for a CL8 Rotary with all the goodies, all the goodies. So that's a steal of a deal. Now let me show you some of the other providential material real quick as well. Service guarantee. Service guarantee. Let's see here. Yeah, this is a service guarantee. I was just trying to read if there was any other information on it. Original stamped service guarantee that would have come with the machine as well when Leo bought it brand new. Again, whoever gets this machine from Tom is going to be in direct succession to these original owners that bought it brand new. It's an original owner machine. So you get this original service guarantee. Let's see, this certificate entitles the above purchaser free service labor on the machine for 1 year. Okay, I see what it is. So they basically, in an incentive to sell machines to people, they gave a service guarantee that you get free, kind of like they do with cars, where for a certain number of miles, they do the oil changes, they do other things like that. You might have to pay labor cost or whatever, but it's basically giving that confidence to the customer that for the first year that they have the machine, and well beyond that, that machine's not going to give them any trouble. They don't have to worry about anything. So original service guarantee as well. Hold on a second. Oh, yeah. Tom just did the math. I didn't look at the live chat. Let's see. I didn't look at the live chat, but Tom just did the math. $210 would be the equivalent of, I'll show you what Tom just texted me, and I agree with him 100%. $210 was a lot of money back in 1963. That was a lot of money back in 1963. And it would be the equivalent of around $2,100 today. So when you were looking at your family budget in 1963, writing out a check for a couple $100 was like buying a car. It was like buying a car. It was a major, major investment. So we're talking big bucks that Leo was putting out as a special Christmas gift for his wife. And then his brother-in-law did the same thing. He wasn't going to be one-upped. He went out and bought the identical twin machine for his wife as well. So you're talking about those two men for Christmas gifts for their wives. In today's money, they spent over $4,000. Over $4,000. So yeah, you got to do the math. I'm not a math person. I'm not a math person at all. Thank God there are people like Emma and Tom and others that can crunch numbers real quick. But yeah, this would have been purchased for the equivalent of about $2,100 back in 1963. Even with the deal that Leo in machine or whatever he did, you're still talking about well over probably around $1,500, somewhere in that range. It's a big investment back there in 1963, a big investment. So then you also get beyond that for providential material. Let's see, Viking sewing machine guarantee. This is additional guarantee, and the original materials that Leo would have gotten with this machine when he bought it for his wife. stamped as well, just like the service guarantee. You don't see this stuff. This stuff gets lost. This stuff gets lost or destroyed. For the new owner of Tom's Machine to get all of this with it, uh, it's icing on the cake. But that's not even the most exciting thing yet. That's not even the most exciting thing yet. In almost, if I round it way up, I've done this for 23 years. I've serviced machines for people around the world. I've handled thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of machines. I've handled over 1,000 Swedish beauties. I've never, ever, ever seen this providential document before. I've never seen this document in all of my experience. When I saw this and Tom brought it in, I was like, you've got to be kidding. Are you serious? You're gonna send this with a machine? He said, yeah, I'm gonna send it with. Back in the day, when you bought a machine from Viking Husqvarna, they wanted you to be a part of the family, just like Cow Country. They wanted you to be a part of the family. So they had something called profit sharing. They had something called profit sharing, where when you would invest in a machine of theirs, they would invest in you by giving you a portion of ownership, in a sense, of the company. This is an original profit sharing certificate that Leo would have gotten when he bought his wife's machine. An original profit sharing, and the face value of this back in 1963 was $100. Now, I'm not a mathematician. I can't even pretend to do math, but I believe that the equivalent of $100 back then, if you did it in today's money, it'd be over $500. The face value of this profit sharing is over $500 today. Amazing. You open it up, certificate has a face value of $100 to you, goes into all the particulars. Then on the back of here, it's got these original. I've never seen one of these before. I'm just like, I should be wearing gloves. I should have gloves on right now like they do in museums. I should have gloves on, but I don't. Look at these coupon certificate things along the edge as well. Special issue 2. All the particulars on the back of here. Oh, I see what it is. 10, 20, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90. So each one of these little coupons that goes with this profit sharing certificate that had a face value of $100 back in 1963. Again, I believe that's it's over $500 today. What they would do is when they give you one of these certificates, it would have all these $10 coupon things. So there's a column of 10 $10 coupons that go with this profit sharing certificate, exclusive to owners of Viking automatic sewing machines, issued to that original owner. I've never seen one of these before in all of my years. Never seen one. Unbelievable. And this goes with the machine as well. I mean, this is where I got a little bit. I'm folding this. I'm like trying to fold a road map. Hopefully I can fold this back properly. In all of my years, I've never seen one of these, ever. Never, ever, ever, ever. They obviously had a lot of them that would be given to the new owners back in the day. People lose them. They get destroyed somehow. They get thrown away mistakenly. All this providential stuff with this machine already being a unicorn machine. Service guarantees. Viking guarantees. Original owner's receipt. Buying this machine a couple days before Christmas in 1963. I mean, I can't even begin to tell you. There's the original envelope that would have been sent to Leo in Maribel, Wisconsin by the dealership in Green Bay. It's actually postmark 1963. When you have providential materials like this with any of your sewing machines, keep them in a fire safe. Keep them in a lockbox at the bank. These providential materials from a value standpoint, especially when you have a profit sharing certificate that had a face value of $100, had $100 face value back in 1963, which is more than 5 times that amount now. Uh, these materials are almost as valuable as the machine. They're almost as valuable as the machine. I'm just blown away that Tom has all this and he's willing to part with it. It just blows me away. Unbelievable. So what price? I didn't look in the live chat. If any of the leaders could send me a quick text, if any of the leaders could send me a quick text and let me know if anyone guessed what the asking price for this machine with all the providential materials and a limited lifetime warranty from the workshop, because I've serviced this machine personally and I know that it's going to serve you carefree for many, many years as long as you do your job of maintaining it properly, which any responsible vintage sewing machine owner does. Um, were there any guesses as to what Tom might be asking for this incredibly rare unicorn Swedish beauty with all of this providential material? Any guesses? Were there any guesses? I'm guessing no guessed because you'd be terrified to guess. And you would be guessing a lot higher than probably what Tom is asking. Let me show you his price. Let me show you his price and then see if I start getting bombed with text messages of people saying that I want it. I want it. And Tom would prefer if someone could do a local pickup on this, but I'm going to help my customer out. I'm going to help Tom out and say that the customer, if they live out of state, I'm going to pack this so that it can be airdropped anywhere in the world. And I'll get a little bit of, you know, I'll ask Tom to give me a little something to help maybe with the packing process. Not much, actually nothing at all. Tom's been a good customer. He's a good friend. Forget I said that. The customer will pay for the shipping. I'll take care of the packing. So if someone wants this shipped out of state, around the world, doesn't matter. You pay the shipping. I'll take care of packing it up for Tom as long as this happens in the next week or so, next 2 weeks maximum. I'll take care of the packing and it will arrive fully insured and it'll be perfect just like it is today. It'll be perfect. So what is Tom wanting for this machine that Leo would have paid the equivalent of $2,100 for back in 1963 with a profit sharing certificate, face value of $100, worth over $500 today? You're going to be blown away. You're going to be blown away. I'm trying to find it. I typed a price to Tom and he could have said, nope, no way. Instead, he liked it. And I don't even know how to like things on texting. Apparently, if someone sends you a text, you can like it. I didn't know you could do that. Tom knows because he's smart. So I put a price and he liked it. This is the price. And the only thing above this cost would be the shipping, unless you pick it up locally. If you pick it up locally, this is the cost. If you want it shipped, this would be the cost plus the shipping. But again, I've been using FedEx and UPS. I can ship this machine anywhere in the US for right around $75. Right around $75 to ship this anywhere in the US. If you go to certain parts of California and Texas, it might be as much as $80 to $85. We can work that out. It's not a lot. It's under $100. It's under $100 to ship this country. So this is the cost. $750. That includes the carrying case, the extension bed, all of the providential materials, a limited lifetime warranty from the workshop, and all the other goodies. All the other goodies that come with it as well that are in the original accessory box, along with an instruction manual and everything else. I almost said $7,500. $750 is a steal of a deal on this machine. It's a steal of a deal. If you're a quilter, if you don't have one of these machines already, and they're not going to run as well as this one because this one has been through workshop magic. If you don't already have a straight stitch Swedish beauty like this CL8 Rotary, and all you have is like a featherweight, I've already told you why I would pick this machine over a featherweight like that. I can snap better with this. $750. If you're interested, send me a text. Susie can post my number. And if you're local, if you're within, Wisconsin, Illinois, you can work with the owner on a possible pickup option. Then there's no shipping cost. If you want to buy it and you want it shipped, I can ship it by FedEx. I will pack it using my packing method, and I'll ship it anywhere in the U.S. All you do is pay the shipping cost. So there you go. I'm done doing my promotions. I'll just tell you that if I were you, I would jump on this for $750. It's a steal of a deal. Oh my gosh. Especially just the machine, but you're getting a carrying case and you're getting all of this as well. The value on this is priceless. It's just literally priceless. All right, I'm going to move all this to the side. We're finally going to put this machine to work. Finally, after all that blah, 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 move this to the side. Hey, I'll tell you what, I'll give you one more fun little incentive. I'm going to give you one more fun little incentive. I just thought to do this. I'm glad that I didn't ask the leaders about these as far as a giveaway. But if you buy Tom's machine, just as a special, God bless you, have fun, keep this safe, enjoy and delight in it. If you buy Tom's machine, I'm going to throw in a complimentary pair of Guggenheim professional tailoring scissors as well, tailoring shears, $50 value. Tom's been a good friend. He's been a good customer. And I want to do that just as a special thank you to Tom for all the business that he's brought me over the years. And also as a special thank you to the person that is going to scoop up this great machine from Tom. So these are included with the sale of the machine if you act quickly. Otherwise, Tom's going to come today and pick this machine up, and then that offer is pretty much going to be gone. So I would say act quickly. Okay, let's get to work on this machine finally. After all that blah, blah, blah. Good gravy. I've been blah, blah, blahing for over 2 hours. Good blah, blah, blah. Yes, I am. All right, let me real quick check one other message, and then we will get into this. One other quick message. Also, I need to do a quick, after all of this, 2 hours, I need to do a quick audio and a video check. I need to do a quick audio and video check. Where is it? I usually get, oh, there it is. All right, quick audio video check. Bear with me for a second. And I also just noticed a text come in. I don't want to. Look at what they're putting on the channel. It's summertime. Good gravy. Why would I want a sweatshirt in summertime? I mean, seriously, come on, folks. Testing 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 3. Peter Piper picked a pack of pepper pickles. I don't think that's even what the saying is. Yes, he did. He picked the pickles. Leave him alone. Leave Peter Piper alone. Leave him alone. Yeah, so the audio sounds great. The video looks really good. So I think we're getting a real strong, a super strong feed signal today, which is great to be able to showcase this great machine, to be able to show this great machine, which I might tell you might be sold. I saw a text come in. Someone just sent a text in and they might be interested in. I've got to read the text. I'll read the text in just a second. Again, why wouldn't somebody buy it? I mean, seriously, it's such a steal. It's a crazy steal. It's a crazy steal. But you know what? Tom's not looking to. He's not looking to capitalize. He's looking thoughtfully and trying to give this original owner machine to someone that's going to love it as much as he would love it if he were keeping it, and then include all that other incredible. I can't even believe it. Can't even believe it. It's just amazing. Absolutely amazing. Okay, I'll find it eventually. What am I was looking for one other quick message that I have to answer. Oh, where are we? Where we are? Where? Almost there. I think of a couple of, give me an idea of the rarity of this CL3 with all of the original owner providential material. I've seen two of these in my career of doing this. The only other machine originally to me was very rare. The only other, whoops, hold on a second. I've got a call from New York. This is Scott.
I'm sorry, I'm watching your live chat. Viking, I just sent you a text.
Okay, I say that one more time. You kind of cut out. I apologize.
Oh, okay. I'm watching your live. I hope it's live.
Yeah, it is live. It is live. Yep.
I just sent you a text because I'd like to buy the machine for $850.
Well, I've got the machine is actually Tom is probably smiling right now. The machine is actually $750, but if you want to pay him $850, he'll probably say yes.
Well, okay. I just figured I'd sweeten the deal in case you get other bids.
Well, I'll tell you what. I'll bring it to the owner's attention because he'll actually be coming to the workshop shortly, and you're still getting a steal of a deal at $850. And then
it's a gem. It's a gem.
Would you want it shipped to New York?
Yeah, well, it's Pennsylvania. I put all the information in my text.
Okay, I'm not going to show that obviously, but I apologize. I hope you don't mind. I do have people can hear us talking right now.
Oh.
Yeah, people can hear us talking right now. So is that okay? I hope that's okay.
Well, not really, but I'm okay with it. My mistake.
I usually, if I get a call during a live stream, I'll put somebody on speaker. So I Yep, and I took you off of speaker so they can't hear us now. But I'll give Tom the message. I'll also let the folks stream right now that the machine is sold.
Okay, thank you so much.
It's my pleasure, and I apologize for presuming it was okay to put you on speaker. Hey, thank you so much. Yep, bye-bye. Bye. Okay, yeah, I should check. I should check before I put somebody on speaker, but generally folks don't mind. It's almost kind of fun. It's almost kind of fun for them to be on a live stream. But yeah, I should have checked. But at any rate, the update on this CL8 Rotary from 1963 is that there's been a firm offer made on it for purchasing it. And because I just saw another text come through, also in machine, this party that I was just on the phone with, that she would be willing to pay up to $850. If there are multiple offers, she doesn't want to get beat out because she knows it's a gem. She knows that she's not going to come across another one of these. With all the machines I handle these machines all the time, hundreds of a year. I've only seen 2 of these. So this individual is very, very eager to get her mitts on this machine with all the providential, plus she's getting a limited lifetime warranty as well. So for all sakes and for all practical purposes, if you were sitting in the wings, and saying, I think I'm gonna pull the trigger on this. I think I'm gonna pull the trigger on this. I think I'm gonna go after that CL8. Scott's a man of integrity. He's the best in the world when it comes to vintage sewing machines. And these are not my words. These are the words of all of you. That's why you're part of our family. That's why you're part of this live stream. I've got a reputation that's world renowned. When I extend an offer of a limited lifetime warranty, that's how confident I am in a machine that's come through the workshop that I'm selling on behalf of a customer. Plus, you get all the providential stuff. You get a machine that is the unicorn of unicorns of Swedish beauties. If you've been sitting in the wings planning to act, you might be too late. Because my friend, the number came up as New York. She says, I'm in Pennsylvania. She sent me all the information. I'll share that with the owner when he gets here. She already said, I'm willing to go to $850. I just saw 2 other text messages just came in from people also. It pops up on my phone, the little blurb of what they're saying. We have 3 people now that want this machine. 3 people that want this machine. I'm gonna have to sit with the owner when he gets here. Hopefully we'll be wrapped up by then with the live stream. Otherwise I'll introduce you to Tom if he allows me to do it. And then it'll be up to the owner, and I'm sure he'll look to me for advice. But if we have 3 people interested in one unicorn machine, what do we do? I don't want to make it a bidding war. That's not our goal. I just got another text that said, I will offer $1,000 plus shipping. $1,000 plus shipping was the last text that just came through. And I'm not making this up. If I can cover their number to protect their privacy, I can show you. We're getting multiple parties that are interested in this machine now. So what I want to do now is we're going to look at all of these offers, and I will give the information to the owner and let him, chime in. He's a fair, he's an honest, he's an ethical gentleman. He's an honorable gentleman. And then we'll reach out to those parties and see what we can work out. If it becomes a price factor, then it becomes a price factor. But let's just see where that goes. But there's 3 parties now, 3 individuals watching this live stream right now that are wanting this machine. So that's a blessing. That's a great thing. But it can only go to one of them, right? It can only go to one. So let's see what happens. I got some more messages coming in. Forgive me for a second here. Wow. Holy mastacholi. I don't blame all of you. Yeah, I don't blame you. I've had, this is the second CL8 Rotary I've had in the workshop in 23 years. The second one. It's the second CL8 rotary I've had in the workshop in 23 years. It's only the second. I've never had a CL8. I've never had, for that matter, I've never had any sewing machine that came with all of the providential original documents. I've never had a sewing machine that came with all the providential documents. I've never had a profit sharing certificate with a face value of $100 back in 1963, which is over $500 today, if you equate the money worth back then compared to now. This is a first for me. It's absolutely a first. It's absolutely a first. Never had it happen before. Give me a second. I'm getting slammed. I'm getting slammed. Just unbelievable. I wish I had 3 of these or 4 of these or 5 of these machines. You can't find them anywhere. You certainly can't find one that's museum quality. This machine is, I mean, you could, if y'all know this. Y'all know this. I think you know this. Some of you might not know this. Over the years that I've been doing this, I had one machine to the Smithsonian. It was like this one, not this model. It was a Singer 222K, but as far as the patina, the aesthetics, the brand new condition that it's in, this is a Smithsonian machine. Totally. If this were offered to the Smithsonian, they'd be licking their chops. So whoever gets a hold of this machine, all the providential material, limited lifetime warranty from the workshop, this is going to be an early Christmas. This is going to be an early Christmas for that individual. Honest to God. Oh my goodness. What a neat thing. What a neat thing. I'm just trying to read some of these messages real quick because the owner is actually is en route to the workshop right now, and we're communicating back and forth. And I want to try to keep the owner in the loop. I want to let him know what's happening, that multiple parties are interested in his machine. Multiple parties are wanting to pay higher than what he's asking. You know, Tom's not just a customer, he's a friend. And I'm trying to keep him in the loop as well. Wow. Goodness gravy. And some of these are lengthy messages as well, sharing why you're falling in love with this machine and you haven't even sewn with it yet. You haven't even seen the machine sew yet. Patient, you know what I do to machines. Almost 150 steps, 14 hours, no, 15 hours, because I did motor work and did additional servicing on the motor a little deeper into the machine as well, knowing that Tom was offering this for sale. 15 hours on this machine as well. So unbelievable. I love you guys. I love your passion. I love your feelings. They're beyond feelings. It's a lifestyle as far as your love for vintage sewing machines, with some of the things that you're sharing about why you want this machine. It's just, it's beautiful. It's just absolutely beautiful. Wow. Well, again, the owner will be here soon, probably in about an hour. Hopefully we're done with the live stream by then. Let me make a promise to all of you watching right now. Let me make a promise. If you reached out and you said, I want the machine, I want to purchase it, and the owner just sent me a quick message. He said, I wouldn't want this machine to go to anyone that other than someone that's in the cow country family. All of you that are watching right now, even if you're on this channel for the first time, You're part of a special group. You're part of our family. And the owner has said twice in a text now, I am so glad. I am so, so glad that we have people within our family. I'm so glad that that it's going to be going to one of our family members. We don't just say that. It's not hype. It's not a sales pitch. Those of you that have had contact with me over the years know that I feel like your family. I've treated you like family. Those that are on my leadership team know how I treat them. They're part of my family. All of you are part of that same family as well. And the owner in particular was hoping, was praying, was hoping and praying that this machine, that when I presented it, that the family would get excited, would jump out, and it would stay within the family. That's the way it should be. Don't you agree? When you've got something as rare and as precious as this, you want it to stay in the family, because we know that that same individual that ends up getting this machine is going to be joining us hopefully for future live streams and can give us updates, and say, hey, guess what? Here's some pictures you can put up on Facebook of what I've done on that CL8 Rotary from 1963. These are some of the things I did with my grandbabies. These are some of the things I made for my children. These are some of the other things I've been doing with that incredible machine, which years later, they'll still hopefully be part of us, and they'll reach out and they'll say, guess what? That same CL8, I was hoping that something would go wrong, that I could capitalize on that lifetime limited warranty. It's still running absolutely like better than a Swiss watch. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years later, that machine is still running to perfection with them doing basic maintenance on the machine. That's the way my machines are. I've extended, I can't even think of how many limited lifetime warranties to machines over the 23 years that I've been doing this. How many people have ever had to come back with a machine to call me out on that lifetime warranty? Zero. Thousands of machines, limited lifetime warranties. You don't abuse it. You don't throw it off of a parking garage. You do basic maintenance. You take care of the machine, and I will cover that machine for a lifetime. Zero people have ever had to come back because the machines continue to run flawlessly without any issues whatsoever. But again, you have to play a part in that in maintaining the machine, right? That's the responsible thing to do as a vintage sewing machine owner. You got to do that. You got to do it. But if you do your part, I've already done my part. I'm just blown away. I'm blown away. Blown away by the love that we share for these incredible works of art. They're not even machines. Machine almost seems like it's insulting, doesn't it? They're works of art, especially this one, this CL8. Unbelievable. Well, Tom, if you're listening in right now, Tom, I'm referring to Tom Olson, the owner of this machine. Tom, once you get to the workshop, I'll sit down, I'll go over with you, I'll give you all the information from the parties that are interested in your machine. Uh, I'll give any advice I can give, but really it's going to be ultimately your decision. But I've had a number of follow-up text messages as well from these parties saying, I will be so disappointed. I will be so disappointed if and here's a conflict. Here's a potential conflict. And this party out of with a New York number out of Pennsylvania just sent a follow-up note and wrote a note to me about me having said that it was sold. What I think I said is it was provisionally sold. And so I do want to honor my customers' wishes. In other words, I have to honor this. This machine doesn't belong to me. It belongs to Tom Olson. Um, when I say that some party from Pennsylvania with a New York number was the first one to send a text in and make a firm offer of I want it, and I'm willing to offer $850 to sweeten the deal, is what she said. Um, Now we've had offers above that amount. And so please, I didn't want to, I don't want to misspeak. Uh, when that first offer came in, I said provisionally sold. That means that there's been a firm offer made. It's been above the asking price. Kind of like when a house is being sold. House is being sold, people can outbid and go above the listing price. And then it's up to the owner. Interestingly, sometimes an owner will take a lesser amount than the top price because maybe that person that is wanting to buy their home is attaching additions to the offer. You know, you need to fix this, you need to do that, you need to do this, you need to cover my closing costs, whatever it is. And I'm not implying that this person from Pennsylvania that has a New York number is putting any conditions on the deal. I'm not saying that at all. But I'm saying that when they were the first ones to reach out, I said provisionally sold. Provisionally sold. I got to drink something. My throat's getting dry. It was provisionally sold. Provisions means there's factors that are in play. Someone that can make an offer sometimes can back out. Sometimes a person that makes an offer, other things will come up that the deal doesn't end up going through. Now in the interim, there's been at least 3 other parties that have reached out and the price keeps going up. And again, I don't think it's about the price for Tom. It's not. He wants it to stay in the family. And so he's going to have to look at these offers. I'll show him the text messages that have come in. And then we will reach out to every single person that has shown an interest in buying Tom's machine. I'm going to share that with the owner. And we will circle back with you and let you know what's going on. And all I can say in advance is I sincerely apologize that we can't replicate this machine and have 3 or that we can offer. We only have 1. And I've never seen one like this that has all the providential original documents, including a profit sharing document with a face value of $100 back in 1963. It blows me away to even be able to touch that document. I've never, ever, ever seen providential documents like these before. It's a gem. It's a unicorn. And so inevitably there's going to be multiple parties interested. I will lean on the owner, not lean on him like a mafia person. Not leaning on, why would I lean on a lawyer like a mafia person? Because, yeah, that would be stupid. But I'm going to lean on the owner. And again, he's a man of integrity. He's a man of honor. We'll look at all of them and we'll get back to each offer that was made, let you know what's going on. And then ultimately we'll come to the finish line. We'll come to the finish line with one of you. And that's the direction we'll go. So, yeah, wow. It's an outpouring of interest, and I get it totally. It's an outpouring of interest. Oh my Lord, I haven't been looking at the laptop at all. You know, I'm focused over here right now, and I have to turn all the way around to look at the laptop over there, all the way over there. And it looks like we have almost 500 people. We have almost 500 people watching this live stream right now. Correction, 504. 504. Get something to drink. We have 504 people in this live stream right now to see Tom Machine. 504 people. And again, it's not about the numbers, but it shows how big our family is. It shows how big our family is that we have over 500 people that are interested to see what's going on with a CL8 that I haven't even sewn on yet. I'm going to do that right now. Finally. And just a reminder, to the leaders, I'm willing to give away 2 packs of these super duper pooper scooper universal needles that have that Teflon type coating on the blade all the way down to the point so that you can sew real sticky stuff. And these needles just glide through it like a hot knife through butter. So if the leaders don't have a contest in this live stream to give away these 2 needle packs of these super universal natal needles, then we'll hold these in reserve and we'll do it at the next live stream on Tuesday. But these are up for grabs right now if the leadership team wants to come up with an impromptu contest during this live stream to give these away. I'll leave it up to them. All right, let me set these to the side. Let me rotate this machine around. And again, to demonstrate that it's not super heavy, it really is a machine that has portability. I'm going to, with basically my thumb and finger, I'm going to pick up this machine and kind of cradle it, just turn it around like this. And the future owner watching right now, the future owners that are hoping that Tom will point at them, are saying, would you stop doing that with my machine? Would you stop doing that with my machine before I come to Wisconsin and put a boot in your bottom, buddy? Oh, love it. And this, of course, you probably already know, but this is the foot controller that comes with a machine like this. These are amazing foot controllers, incredibly controlled in metering out speed. You don't even have to use the slow gear. These allow you to meter out that speed very, very carefully. They're very, very exact and accurate, and incredibly. I love the size of them. You can, even if you have a bigger foot like I do, you can fit your foot on these. And then obviously they also have this royal crest as well. They have the royal crest on here. And if you don't know the history of the Husqvarna sewing machine company that was established right around 1872, it was established because of a king's decree. The king of Sweden decreed a drilling and a grinding plant that was making musket barrels back in the 1800s. And eventually that grew into, as there was less of a need for musket barrels, they looked at that and they said, what else could we make in this great factory? And they ended up pointing at sewing machines. And the first one came out in 1872. It was the Northern Star, which is actually on display at the museum in Sweden, which that's on my bucket list. That's on my bucket list. I want to go to Sweden. I want to go pop over into Norway and see Hans. I want to also then go into that museum and look at all the amazing things that the Husqvarna Viking sewing machine company has made, going all the way back to the 1800s, 1872 forward, and just check all that out. I think that'd be absolutely fabulous. All right, let me plug this foot controller in. And finally, we get to actually put this machine to work. Finally. And again, whoever Tom settles on as far as the new owner, you're going to get this pair of Guggenheim professional tailoring scissors. These also, like, I'm extending a limited lifetime warranty on this CL8 for the new owner. These also have a lifetime warranty as well. These scissors, incredible tailoring scissors, and they've got different styles as well. Oh, and Susie from Minnesota, I forgot to share this. She might have shared it in the live chat already, but Susie reached out to Guggenheim because I believe it was Joel out of California that was asking about left-handed scissors. And Susie can share in the live chat, if she would, what they told her. They were very responsive. They were very attentive to her inquiry, and they gave her a very specific answer. And I don't want to steal Susie's thunder, so I'm just going to say, Susie, if you'll share what Guggenheim said when you reached out on Joel's behalf and other folks that are left-handers, what they told us, which I thought was pretty cool, then our left-handed friends will know what the plan is in the future with these. But yeah, cool stuff. Very cool. All right. I think there may have been another text message as well. Let me just real quick look. I apologize. No, it's very kind. My friend that has a New York number from uh, Pennsylvania now, apparently, um, just wrote a nice little note. I mean, she was the first one to jump out and say, "I want the machine," and she just wrote, "Good show, good for Tom Olson. I always enjoy watching your show, Scott." I really appreciate that. I really, really, truly do. Um, I there's a lot. My leadership team knows this, but putting on a show like this takes a lot of preparation. Um, to get ready for one live stream, I probably spend 2 to 3 hours, and it's not just finalizing the machine and double checking and triple checking and quadruple checking the machine, but it's all the other prep. It's doing speed checks. It's getting the computer set up. It's getting the sew off set up, which sometimes I'm running behind and I'll do those at the last second, like you saw me doing today. Uh, but there's a lot of prep, and I really try to do it thoughtfully. I try to do it thoughtfully, and I try to do it purposefully. I don't want it to be, half done, half baked. I want folks to step away and feel like they really got something out of it. And hopefully, when they feel comfortable enough, not only do they get something out of it, but they also give back as well. Like I say, our our live streams are all about people contributing when they feel comfortable. It's about being not just fellow students, but being fellow teachers as well. And so I really appreciate that comment a lot from my dear friend that I've just met that is interested in Tom's machine. For her to say that, that means a lot. Truly does. Truly does. All right, let me see if I can get over here a little bit closer. I'll also show you this incredible machine as well. Don't want to stretch my camera too far. Kind of point it this way. All right, I'm not going to tug the cord too much or I'll end up disconnecting us. That won't be good. All right. Well, I was goofing around as I was doing the final adjustments on this CL8, and even before I finished all the adjustments already, and again, the Microtex needles that I'm using today, the Schmetz Microtex needles, size 80. Size 80 is what I have in the machine today. Microtex needles are known for delivering a great top stitch. And even before the machine was finally adjusted and everything was done, these are the type of stitches that it was laying down. That's even without all the adjustments done. So, between my work on this CL8, about 14 hours, and using a Microtex needle that is noted for delivering great top stitching, I think we've got a winning opportunity for that new owner now to see this machine do a little dancing. But again, it's only going to be a little dancing compared to what that owner is going to be able to do with this machine once they have it in their sewing suite. So let's start, because this is going to be fairly simple. Again, because of my setup, I've got 100% silk thread, and I've got a Microtex needle size 80. I'm not able to sew as wide of a field of materials as far as what I have available in the workshop. We're going to be sewing some different things just for fun. I might even go over and cut some quick denim just to see how a Microtex needle responds to denim. I'm just really curious to try it. Some of that denim that Emma sent me from Florida. And but we'll start with the basics now. We'll start with some cotton, and then we'll kind of go from there. All right, let me get this set up. And another quick little thing I'll show you on this machine that you might not be aware of is inside of the faceplate, as we're using this machine for applications that we're not doing today. Let's say we're sewing some super heavy leather, or we're doing a quilting project where there's multiple layers, multiple layers along with the quilt batting, and we got a real thick sewing material surface that we got to go through. The presser foot adjustment is right here in the faceplate area, and I've demonstrated this on other live streams. The Swedish people are incredibly smart when it comes to design and the features, very smart, and so they've got not only an easy adjuster here, this little wheel that you can rotate towards you to increase the presser foot pressure. You rotate this away when you're reducing the presser foot pressure for lighter materials, silks and satins and other things like that. But it's also got a quick release as well. And the quick release can be a great opportunity to work in conjunction with your feed dog drop if you're doing free motion quilting or freehand embroidery. It frees up that foot controller to be nice and free and easy moving as you're going through the motions of that type of sewing, or to fit something crazy thick underneath the presser foot where you don't have enough clearance with the simple movement of the presser foot lever. You can do a quick release on this. So right now, if I kind of show you again, let me just close that for a second. As I close that right now and I kind of show you from the side, you shut the light off as well. Swedish beauties have really good natural clearance underneath the presser foot. You can see that right there. I could fit probably close to 4/4, 4/4 like from somebody's pocketbook or something like that, 3 to 4/4 easily underneath that presser foot because of the clearance that it has. And then beyond that, it's got a little bit, not much, it's got a tiny little bit of hyperextension that might give you another millimeter of clearance. But what if that's not enough? If that's not enough, one of the great things about that quick release, one of the great things about that quick release inside of the faceplate area here is you can hit that quick release. You'll see this drop down straight away. See how that dropped down? Now, if I got something super crazy thick to fit underneath that presser foot, I don't have really much in the way of any challenge. Let me show you what that looks like. That's normal right there. That's standard clearance. And then I can take it from there when I release that presser foot pressure all the way up to here. From there, all the way up to there. You get that material, that project underneath the presser foot, lower that presser foot back down. And then all you do from there is you grab this here, you put your thumb on the bottom, and you can re-engage that presser foot pressure very easily just by pinching these two together. And now our presser foot pressure is re-engaged. Your thick project is underneath the presser foot, and you've been able to get a project underneath there that another machine that doesn't have this feature wouldn't be able to give you. So that's another great feature and function of that quick release on these Swedish beauties. And it's not unique just to the CL8 Rotary. This quick release in one form or another is going to be available on a number of different green machines. Of course, those green machines are common. They're not unicorn, but they are available. That was a text from Susie from Minnesota. Let me just look at that real quick. Oh, that's a good contest. Yeah, Susie just sent me a quick note saying the leaders decided to do a quick little impromptu contest to give away pooper scooper needles. And it's going to be to guess the two sizes of motors available in the CL8 models, and specifically the one that's in this model here. Yeah, and that's we talked about a little bit. And if they were paying attention in class, then it should be an easy win. And all you have to do, if the leaders declare you the winner of the needles, and again, I can give away 2 sets of these, um, then just reach out afterwards, give me your contact information, and I'll sure that those get mailed off to you so you can check them out. Let us know what you think of them. Again, I think it's kind of neat to have needles that have like a Teflon coating on them so that they're able to go through that super sticky type material and just glide through it very, very easily. Yeah, that's cool. Great idea that the leaders came up with. I like that. That's really cool. Super duper cool. All right. So yeah, I just wanted to show that to you. I think it's really nifty. And certainly there's an option where you could drop the feed dogs. That's accomplished right over here by this little dial right here. You just rotate this down to the 6 o'clock position. The feed dogs drop, but you're only going to gain, excuse me, I'm practically losing my voice in this live stream. By dropping the feed dogs, if you're trying to slide something in there that's really, really thick, you're only going to gain maybe about 1.5 millimeters. By doing the hyperextension, you're only going to gain about 1 millimeter. By doing a quick release and then manually raising up that presser foot bar so you can slide that thick project in, you're going to be gaining about 6 to 7, maybe almost 8 millimeters by doing that. So yeah, it's a great benefit to have. Forgot my light was off. All right, let's get to work on this machine. Goodness gravy, we haven't even sewn with it yet. We need to do that, right? We need to do that. So let's lay down some stitching. We'll lay down a couple rows on this 100% cotton, and then we'll jump around to some of these other materials as well. And I will do my best to sew straight, but no promises. No promises. All right. Here we go. Give a listen to this machine. She is just a sweet girl, a sweet, sweet girl, ready to do her dance, ready underneath these bright lights. All right, here we go. There we go. Wow. And I'm actually going to bump this up just a little bit. I did some other testing on materials. Beautiful stitching, but I'm just going to do a fine little adjustment on there real quick. But again, this needle that I'm using, this Microtex needle, due to the designing of the needle, it's designed to accentuate the top stitch. So most of you know, and I've talked about this a lot in live streams, most of you know that the top stitch is defined from a tension standpoint by the bobbin case. The bobbin case is going to be pulling down on that thread to define that top stitch. And then working in concert with a Microtex needle, it's going to target that top stitch even more. So the balance factor, and we still have a beautiful balance. The balance factor is using a needle like this, the sewist is looking for an accentuated top stitch. So I think as we look at the top stitch, it's going to be just a little bit more pronounced than the lock stitch, but the balance is still spot on between the two. See if I can show that to you. This is our top stitch first. Yep, that's our top stitch. We'll take a look at that first. Let me raise that camera up a little bit. There we go. So again, when you're using a Microtex needle, whether it's a size 60 or a size 110, you're looking to do something that's going to require a more pronounced top stitch, and that's exactly what this needle accomplished on this first sew off. That's where I kind of sewed downhill a little bit. See that? Take a look at it like this too. Beautiful, beautiful stitching. And again, I would put a CL8 as a straight stitch only machine up against any featherweight in the world. Any featherweight in the world. I don't care if it's a featherweight convertible that is going to be around $3,000 or a standard featherweight that's going to be somewhere between $200 to $1,000 maybe. Some folks are selling them for that. This CL8, I'll put it up against any featherweight in the world as far as delivering a better straight stitch. Absolutely spot on. And it's not because we're using a Microtex needle. This CL8 will do that with any kind of needle. It's going to lay down a beautiful stitch. So, and eventually I'll sew straight, but you know what? For now, just focus on the stitches, not the straightness. Now, if we turn it over, look at that lock stitch. And you can see my presser foot pressure is cranked up pretty high right now because I was anticipating doing some heavier sew-offs as well. So I might need to back that off a little bit. We're getting a little bit of a puckering of the material, and that's a presser foot factor. The pressure is too high right now for sewing this 100% cotton, and that's a simple thing to fix. But there's our lock stitch. See if I can go across there as well. Turn it like this. Look at that lock stitch like this also. So lock stitching, top stitching. Now we're going to shorten that stitch down a little bit. We'll do another stitch line on this 100% cotton. I'm going to cut this off here on the end because that material I didn't do so great in sewing straight with it. And these are the Guggenheim scissors that I'm using to cut this edge off to make it look a little bit more presentable. They just cut so nice. All right, now let's lay down another stitch line next to this. And we'll shorten that stitch up quite a bit. So our stitch length is right over here. We're set on 4 right now, which is the longest one. We're going to go up to about 2.5. Just about up to there. And this is going to have a spring return on it. So when you get to that point of 2.5, just kind of turn this in. And we'll kind of lock it. Harder to do it when you're holding a camera. Almost got it. Yeah, this has a spring return on this CL8. So you screw this in and then it locks it into place. Yeah, I think we're almost at 2.5 right there. So let's do another stitch line of that. And then we'll jump into some of these other materials as well. And I provide this tip all the time, but whenever you're launching with a machine, and this is true of Swedish Beauties, make sure that take-up arm is all the way at the top, just getting ready to downstroke. And then it'll do a beautiful job of launching for you when those mechanics are free. All right, so here's our next stitch line on this CL8. Here we go. I've got a really good microphone, and I don't know what you can hear, but this machine is just silky smooth, silky smooth. All right, let's take a look at that top stitch first, and then we'll look at that lock stitch. So again, this needle, remember this needle with its anatomy engineering is designed to accentuate the top stitch, right? So even sewing at this scale, which is probably 12 to 15 stitches per inch. You can see the clarity of that top stitch. The Microtex needle is engineered to give us the clarity on that top stitch, and it does not disappoint. Just bring that up a little bit higher. Does not disappoint. Go like this as well. Beautiful, beautiful stitching. Yeah, it's cool, the engineering of needles, isn't it? That by changing the anatomy and design of the needle, you can allow it to interact with that fabric, with that thread, and give different accentuations to that stitch outcome. Really is quite cool. We turn over, look at that lock stitch as well. And lock stitch again is not going to have quite the definition of the top because of the needle we're using. Just realize that. We'll take a look at that as well. Go vertical also. I like going vertical with these. So I'm going to move this cotton to the side, a beautiful, beautiful outcome using this, the setup that we have, which is 100% silk thread with a Microtex needle of size 80 Microtex needle. Yeah, why don't we, I'll save the paper until near the end, I think. This is a vinyl paper that I cut as well. I've got some of this bubblegum material. I did not test this with the machine. I did not test this with a machine, but it's kind of a fake leather. And according to Schmetz, the Microtex needle should be doing pretty well with this fake material, this fake leather material. Okay, should be all the way down. So what I'm going to do is, actually I'll do a single layer and then I'll bump it up to 2 layers and see what we think of this bubblegum material. And the reason I call it bubblegum, and I've shown this on other live streams, it's a fake looking leather type material, but it's got a huge amount of vinyl in it. All right, we'll do a single layer and then we'll bump it up to 2 and see what we think of that. Again, I'm not really pushing this machine to show its muscle today. It's got a very large motor, almost 4 times the size of the Featherweight. So we could be doing some crazy heavy duty sewing, but I just got the itch to try to put some silk thread on this machine and to try out the Microtex needle. And that's why we're sewing with the style that we are today. This is on the light scale of what this machine is capable of. All right, let me see if I can sew relatively straight. We'll go down this bubblegum material, and then we'll see if we want to add a second layer to that. Yeah, interesting. It's always interesting when you're sewing with a vinyl. It's always interesting when you're sewing with a vinyl. And depending on what kind of specialty needle you choose to use, just take into account that that's the outcome you're going to get. So if you're using a microtex needle, your focus is to try to get a really, really nice looking pronounced top stitch. You're not as concerned about the lock stitch. The lock stitch needs to be there, but the focus is the top stitch. The focus is the top stitch. So you're going to look at that top stitch and right away see what that microtex needle is doing for us from a standpoint of making it pronounced. Once the camera focuses on it, you'll see it maybe. Again, this stuff is really stretchy, so a little bit closer. Beautiful, beautiful top stitching. And the thing when you're working with a material like this that has a high concentration of vinyl is there always is the risk for a skip stitch. But because of this CL8 being so well, I mean, it's just running at the top of its game, laid down a beautiful, beautiful top stitch using this silk thread and this microtex needle. Here's our lock stitch. I'll show it to you from a distance, and then we'll kind of zoom in a little bit closer on it. Beautiful lock stitching as well. But again, the focus of this needle is the top stitch, so it's going to give you a little bit more on the top stitch than a lock stitch. Very, very nice. Let's roll the dice a little bit and try adding a second layer, see how we do. Again, I did not test this off camera, so we'll see what happens. See what happens. See how happy it is. And I think let's see, I'm at 4 right now in stitch length. I think I'll go to 3. I'll go to 3. So we're going to shorten the stitch up just a little bit. And I think that's a Susie text. Okay, the contest was from Emma. Susie's just letting me know about the context. Context was from Emma, and I'm glad that Teresa won. What I'm going to do, and it's always great to have folks that are excited about the contest and jump in. What I'm going to do is I'm going to say that moving forward, you can win up to 3 times. I think that that's fair enough. You can win up to 3 times, and then you'll have to wait. What seems reasonable? 3 months or 6 months? 3 months maybe. But I'll talk to the leaders and see what they think. But once we've had a person win 3 times concurrently, then we have them step out of the contest for a period of time, either 3 months or 6 months, and then they'll have an opportunity to win again after that. Because I know Teresa's won. This will be her 3rd time, I believe. So that's fabulous. That's fabulous. But we'll put a little cap on it. And that way others will be encouraged to step forward and take a swing at it as well. So, okay, so 2 layers of bubblegum material. Let's see. I'll bump up our upper tension just a little bit. Let's see how we do on managing 2 layers of this high vinyl bubblegum material. This stuff is really, really tricky to sew because of that vinyl. So let's see what we do. Here we go. Oh, wow. Very cool. Very, very cool. I expected less of a pronounced I expected less of a pronounced lock stitch considering the type of needle we're using. But we've got a beautiful lock and a top stitch. Almost equally pronounced. Almost equally pronounced. Okay, so first of all, our top stitch, and again, I'm set probably at about 12 stitches per inch. I really do like the effect of the Microtex needles as far as what they do for that top stitch. Really quite spectacular. Really, really quite spectacular. Especially considering that we're sewing on a material like this that has so much vinyl in it. Vinyl is notorious for exploiting stitches and distorting them. And this needle is doing a really good job, obviously because of the machine, but it's still doing a very, very good job. Very, very nice job. Here's our lock stitch. Again, the lock stitch is not going to be as sharp and pronounced as the top stitch because the needle engineering for Microtex focuses on the top stitch. But still going through 2 layers of this bubblegum material, which is crazy. You can tell with the way I'm able to stretch it, it's crazy as far as the level of vinyl that's in it. We're still getting a really, really good looking lock stitch through these 2 layers of bubblegum material. Really, really quite nice. Look at it like this too. There we go. For some reason, when you show it vertically like this in the column, you can see that stitching a little bit better. But I'm really impressed. I don't use Microtex needles a lot. I don't. But I might start doing it more often now, especially now that I know they've got sizes up to 110. That intrigues me a lot. That intrigues me a lot. Yeah, so lock stitch and top stitch going through this bubblegum vinyl material that is ridiculous. You can even see the backing there as well. It's ridiculous as far as the stretchiness of it. It's like, wow, 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 wow. But this CL8 had no trouble with it. Even using a specialty Microtex needle, it still gave us a great top and a great lock stitch as well. So I'm going to throw that to the back. Very, very happy with that. And now we're down to 2 sew-offs because of our special setup. Our special setup of, got to get another swig. Because of our special setup using this Microtex needle and this 100% silk thread. I don't have any wool. I don't have some of the other things that would work. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to employ our slow gear for at least a portion of our last 2 sew-offs. Here I've got vinyl paper, and here I've got Naugahyde, which is a fake leather material. As I researched Microtex needles, they suggested artificial leather. So I'm hoping that we get a great outcome from this and a great outcome from this vinyl paper as well. Now, I haven't asked the audience for a lot of input. Near the beginning, I asked you for some questions. We got involved a little bit, but I've been focused on this CL8. And so I'm going to ask all of you to chime in. Do you want to see the vinyl paper first, or do you want to see the Naugahyde fake leather stuff first? I'll let you chime in and kind of give me your input on on the rank order of these last two sew-offs. And I've got to watch my time as well. We're getting close to 1 o'clock. I believe the owner is going to be arriving quite soon. And you know, Illinois people are notorious for driving fast. We just know it in Wisconsin. We see somebody that drives past us real fast, we right away look to see if it's an Illinois plate. So, yeah, Tom might get here earlier than expected. So I'm going to try to wrap this up pretty quick so we can have a powwow when he gets here, and we can figure out what we're going to do as far as the number of folks that are interested in this great CL8, this very rare CL8. So I'll look and see vinyl paper, or do we go with this Naugahyde stuff? And I think Emma probably typed a little bit of a history on Naugahyde. It's really kind of fascinating stuff. Really is kind of fascinating stuff. So let me set that off to the side. Candido is saying, let's do vinyl. Let's do vinyl paper first. Let's do vinyl paper first. Just looking at messages real quick. Live streams are really a busy thing for me between what I'm doing over here, interacting with the audience, interacting with the leadership team. I don't get bored at all. I don't get bored. I don't. Not even for a second do I get bored. Oh, this is interesting. Yeah, okay, another message. Another message. So much interest in this CL8, and why wouldn't there be? This is the pinnacle. This is like the pinnacle machine to have in your collection. And especially to take out to quilting retreats. And you know, there's nothing wrong. It's like having, it's like having a child. It's like having a child and wanting people to meet your child because you poured so much into them and they're such a great reflection of you. And you want people to meet your kids, right? These are our kids right here. And so it's kind of cool. It's super cool to be able to have a machine like this, you know, in your collection that you can take around and show off your kid. Show off your kid to folks and have them just absolutely despise and hate you because they don't have this kid. This kid isn't in their collection. What's up with that? Oh, it's funny. It's a little funny. It is. Yeah, it's really fun to be in our space, isn't it? And it's not a huge it's not like we're mainstream, you know? We're not mainstream. We're niche. We're niche. We're a select, exclusive, elite group of individuals that fall in love with vintage sewing machines. And a lot of you know because of my work with Joann's, known in some circles still as Joann Fabrics. I don't just get vintage sewing machines into the workshop. I get very contemporary machines. Some of them, the real fancy, let's take a second mortgage out on the house and get this quilting machine. I get some of those in the workshop as well. And so with getting those really fancy machines in as well, it gives me a broader base of appreciation for sewing machines in general. As a matter of fact, I just updated my Facebook profile thingy whatty collie thing. Originally I had join this and have fun and win things and fall in love with blah 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 and all that. And And I said strictly vintage sewing machines. So I revised that just last night to say sewing machines, because sewing machines from a technical standpoint haven't changed a whole lot once the straight stitch lock type sewing machine was developed. It hasn't changed a lot in the hundreds of years that it's been on the scene. Um, there are some interface things that have changed where we would be making mechanical selections on the machine, and now they're controlled by a computer. But the overall mechanics, the engineering of the sewing machine has stayed pretty constant. And so I think gaining a deeper appreciation for sewing machines in general, and saying, you know what, it's okay. I can be a purist vintage sewing machine collector, and I can still have a computerized machine that does other stitches and does other functions that maybe my vintage machines can't do quite as well. I think that's okay. I think that's perfectly acceptable. So, yeah. What do we decide? Leather. What does this say? I'm looking at the live chat real quick. So vinyl. I think the vinyl is the vinyl paper, right? And then let's employ for the first time. And again, we could have this beautiful extension bed on the machine right now. This beautiful extension bed that looks like, okay, did it just come out of the factory in Sweden? Yes, it did, by way of the workshop in Oconto, Wisconsin, because it's gorgeous. Look at that. We could have this on, but it makes it so difficult to get closer with the camera. So I've been kind of staying away from the extension bed during the live stream for that reason. For that reason. Yeah. Okay. So let's do this vinyl paper first, but we're going to employ the slow gear to do it. I'm going to try to employ this slow gear to do it. And we do that by going to this side of the machine right here. This is where we would wind a bobbin, but instead we're going to pull this bobbin assembly out like this. And by pulling this bobbin assembly out like that, what it does is it reduces the speed. It reduces the speed of this Viking CL8 from full speed down to 1/5. So it takes that 1.5 amp motor. It takes that 1.5 amp motor and it gears that motor down as far as speed. It doesn't change the power. 1.5 amps is 1.5 amps. And I say it all the time. People on the internet will put out misinformation that by employing the slow gear on a Swedish Beauty, it gives you more power. It doesn't. It gives you more control. It gives you more control, and it gives you a little bit more management of speed without having to regulate it through the foot controller. And that's why we love the slow gear, because it gives us more control. Now, the thing about the slow gear is it makes it sometimes a little bit more hard to make corners for. So let's see how I do on this sew off. I hope I do all right. And since I haven't played any music at all, I've been such a good boy in this live stream, I'm going to put on a little bit of music while I'm sewing in a circle. It's my sewing in a circle music. Let's see here. My sewing in a circle music. I have no reason to play Irish music, but I love Irish music all the time, don't you? I'm so tempted to put Irish music on. All right, I'll be good. I'll put on some polka music. Never can have enough polka music. Well, all right, a little bit of polka music while I'm sewing in a circle here. I think I'll shut our light off too. A little bit less reflection. All right, let's see how I do. Don't bet the farm on it. Oh, I'm still on 3. I'll leave it on 3. far as stitch length. Cut that thread real quick. All right, I'm going to stop right there. I'm getting dizzy. Getting very, very dizzy. And I don't know if Schmetz would recommend, I'm going to shut off our music real quick. I don't know if Schmetz would recommend sewing a paper product with their Microtex needles, but it's what I just did. And it's kind of fun to do it. See if I can get really close so you can take a look at some of this stitching on this vinyl paper. And if you've never tried sewing vinyl paper before, you should give it a go. It's kind of cool. Kind of cool. Plus you can look at the effects of that Microtex needle against that bluish background. It's really quite lovely. I'm not going to make you sick. At any rate, it's a fun little thing to do. It shows you the power of the slow gear in being able to manage turns like that very, very easily. I didn't do a spectacular job, but I did pretty good. And then you can also see the reverse effect of that Microtex needle with the lock stitching on here as well. Some beautiful lock stitching against this white background with the white thread, which is a little tricky to see. See if the camera will even focus on it. You see the punch through that size 80 needle going through that paper. And again, this is really different than what you would normally do on a Swedish beauty. We could just as easily be sewing leather with a leather needle, but we're sewing today with a Microtex needle and 100% silk thread. So flexibility and variety is the to the back. We just have one more sew off to do. One more sew off to do, and I'm going to leave it up to all of you as far as, do we use the slow gear again? Or do we sew regular speed in a circle and I regulate it with the foot controller? I'll see what y'all are saying and then we can go with that. I'm going to go to our longer stitch too. We're on stitch setting a 3 on that last stitch off, probably around 10 stitches per inch or something like that, 10 to 12. So now we're on the longest stitch. And again, if you joined us a little bit late, I'll just show you some of the stuff that we did during the live stream. Not a lot. We did more talking than anything, but we sewed 100% cotton, laid down some beautiful stitching on that. We did this bubblegum material, which is a little bit of a nightmare. We did a single layer of that and also 2 layers of that. Laid down beautiful page 34 stitching. And then we did, just for fun, we just sewed around in a circle using the slow gear. And we laid down stitching on here. I don't know that paper is the best thing to be using a microtex needle for, but we did it anyway. And we still got a great outcome with some beautiful stitching. Once the camera focuses. If the camera focuses. There it is, sort of. Some beautiful stitching, top stitch, which we expect with a microtex needle, and also the lock stitch as well. And now our final sew off on this CL8 from 1963 is going to be this Naugahyde material, which is a fake leather material. It's a fake leather material. And from what I read, microtex needles generally do a good job with this stuff. So we'll see. But should I sew it at full speed? Or should I sew it? If I sew it at full speed, I'm going to put on dance music, just so you know. I do it at full speed, I'm going to put on dance music. If I do it with the slow gear, then I'll maybe put on some, I don't know. I'll put on something else. But let me know your thoughts on that. Let me know your thoughts on that. Let me see if there's any other, might be another text message I have to respond to. Hold on a second. Nope, that's another text message. I already saw it. Okay. All right. Enough electronics. Let's put the electronics to the side. Okay. Full speed ahead. The rare Naugahyde beast. Oh, it looks like it's boomed up again, huh? They probably know I'm getting to the end of the live stream. All these other folks are jumping on saying, what's going on with the CL8? What's going on? What's going on? Holy mackerel, 500 people. That's crazy. All right. So full speed requires dance music. Let me see if I can find my dance music real quick. Dance music, dance music, dance music. No, I don't want a polka. Ooh, Japanese music. That would be interesting too. Marching music. I played dance music at the beginning. I think I'll put on maybe some marching music. I can sew in a circle to marching music. Let's see if I can. All right. Marching music, full speed ahead. As Emma said, I'm kind of terrified, but I'll give it a go. And I know this Naugahyde requires a little bit more upper tension. I'm going to bump this up just a hair higher. All right, here we go. Let's see what happens. The vote of confidence. Ah, yes. I'm stopping right there. Boy, I unraveled that stitch a little bit. All right. What did I do there? I sewed over that thread a little bit. Oh, that's okay. All right. Stop the music. Okay. So sewing in a circle with this microtex needle, I think it's one of the first times I've done it. And it gives me, hold on one second. Wet the whistle. All right. So this is the totality of sewing in a circle. Here I sewed over the thread that I cut. So, but it gives you an idea of the purpose of specialty needles. Whereas if we were using a universal needle or a leather needle or something else, we would get a different emphasis or a different accentuation of the stitching. This one is all about top stitching. So when we lay down some top stitching up here, it's going to be poppy. It's going to be cool. That's easier right there if I do that. Spin it like a pinwheel. Yeah, it didn't do bad with Naugahyde. Naugahyde is a tricky fake leather material to work with. There's our lock stitching on the back. I bumped up the upper tension a little bit higher to anticipate this Naugahyde, which has a vinyl in it, give us a little bit of trouble on the lock stitch. I might have gone too far. I bumped it up a little bit higher, and we've got a beautiful lock stitch, but I might have taken a little bit away from that top stitch. And that's the lesson of learning the material types in relation to the setup, the type of thread you're working with. Here we have 100% silk with a microtex. If we were using a different type of needle, a different type of thread, we have to do some additional tweaking, but a beautiful lock stitch product. I was nervous a little bit about the Naugahyde and the microtex needle being designed to give us a good top stitch. And because I bumped up the upper tension, it gave us a gorgeous, are you kidding me, lock stitch on this tricky, tricky material. Really, really lovely stuff. Really, really good looking stitching. Yeah. So we learn things as we experiment, don't we? New needle, new setup, new type of thread. And we didn't go through a huge field of sew-offs, but we tried out some fun stuff. This this paper material that has a vinyl base to it. Obviously, our standby 100% cotton. Bubblegum material, which was a lot of fun to try. And then finally, this Naugahyde, which kind of surprised me with a little bit of a tension adjustment. It gave us a really, really good looking top stitch, considering the needle we're using, but it gave us even a beautiful, surprisingly beautiful lock stitch as we tweaked the tension up a little bit on it. So this has been a great, great adventure sitting down with this Rotary style CL8 from 1963, getting a chance to appreciate the depth of the machine and only getting a tiny little glimpse of its capabilities. If I had time, which I don't, I would love to demonstrate this machine showing the heavy duty side, going through a lot of leather. But we would change the setup. We'd go from a microtex to a leather needle or maybe a universal needle. And we would get rid of the silk thread and we would go to a probably 100% polyester type thread to go through some of those heavier sew-offs. But that really is just the tip of the iceberg. I only have a limited amount of time with these machines. Once that new owner gets it, they can demonstrate the prowessness and really just the exciting side of what that machine is capable of doing as they develop that greater intimacy with the machine, because they're spending day after day with the machine, not just a quick glimpse. of, well, it's not really quick, 14 hours with a machine, but it's a quick glimpse compared to that owner. So Tom will be here soon. We'll sit down together. We'll reach out to the folks that have had an interest in the CL8, and then ultimately that machine will go to that new owner. And we'll let you know who that is, to what, to some extent. We're not going to give all the details away because they might want that privacy. But we'll give you it went to Pennsylvania, it went to Florida, it went to Hawaii. Who knows where it's going to go? But soon we'll know that answer, and then we'll go from there. So with that, I'll put on some music to wrap us up. And thank you to everybody for an exciting live stream of getting to know this machine and getting a little glimpse of its greatness. A little glimpse. Let's see. Yeah, we'll do some more dance music to wrap this up. Yeah. Take care, everybody. God bless. And thank you again for joining us on a busy Saturday to see a machine we only see about as often as Halley's Comet. Very rare. Very, very rare. Exciting stuff.